Hello, everybody. How are you doing today? Hopefully, you're doing quite well. My name is Charlie. I'm a non binary sci fi fantasy writer, and I am going to be playing the Valheims with such wonderful, really inappropriate joke having people as my friend.
That's me!
And Tom, who really feels like a sibling at this point. Like, it's no point even denying it. And Carrie and Megan.
Hello.
And there's a lot of
I can make a boat.
things happening. Yay, full screen mode worked today.
Yay!
Well, what on the Wednesday stream, remember I hit full screen and everything disappeared.
Yeah.
Full screen was not working.
So here's the...
And hello, Raiders.
Hello, Raiders!
Hello.
Hello, Raiders, for the last time.
So, Charlie, for your garden, how many ballistas do you want?
All of them. I do not know how to answer this question. It feels very academic to me. I do not want to be killed by a giant cloud of death.
Okay.
And I don't want, and the giant cloud of death also destroys the garden. So it would be nice for that not to happen. How many ballistas does it take to take out the giant cloud of death?
Oh, we haven't tested the ballista on y'all.
Yeah. I'm just saying that is the answer, because we need two kinds of ballistas. One, I don't know how we're going to set up, because I don't know if we have a trophy for it yet, but we need one that aims at the garden, because the seekers
Yeah, we'll want to set it up
get into the garden and actually eat.
So I want to set it kind of up high so it shoots down, because if it shoots across the garden, it's going to tear up all the plants. But I figured we'll make little platforms for them to sit on. The question's more of how many do we need to cover the area, because they have a 90-degree firing arc. And we have enough to do one for each right now. Like, we could do one seeker and one y'all.
Yeah, I really don't know, because the seekers will get into the garden and actually eat the.
I don't know if we should have
plants.
maybe two for seeker and two for y'alls.
I don't know how efficient they are against these critters, so I don't know how to answer your question.
I'm kind of wondering if we need to have it set up so they kind of cover each other. I don't know. Let's see. Well, first of all, a few more. So I need 6 more mechanical springs to do that.
Can I start calling you Mumblecore or something?
Mumblecore? Yep.
I'll bring a carve in the second boat.
Oh, I have a boat on me.
Okay. Shall I leave with the set then for Charlie?
Yeah,
I feel like
or you can just leave it in the box somewhere.
I feel like that's one of those Brian statements I've ever heard. Oh no, I've got a boat on me. In my pocket, you know.
Hey Charlie, where should I leave a boat for you?
I don't know what portal is going to be the best portal to get out to some unplundered.
Well, actually, I wasn't sure. Like, there's that island off to the right of us.
Okay, so y'all haven't really done
copper deposits.
Wait, what?
Okay, I see that. Is there a portal to get out there? Because if there is, you can just either take the boat out there or give it to me.
That one,
and I'll take it out.
There's a swamp too.
I don't remember if we ever set up a portal there. Like, that's what it's like.
I'll just sail over and we'll find out.
I believe. Well, if you go to Portal House, look for Swamp 2. If there's a Swamp 2 in Portal House, then there is a portal. It'll be in the Portal House.
Yeah, but I would rather not be in a swamp. but
It's
okay.
not actually in the swamp. It's right there. Or you know, look at the map.
I
Right,
was
Charlie,
reading stuff.
It's at the
Okay.
dock.
That one.
Yeah, that would be swamp too.
I will desperately try to read very, very tiny white print over a white shiny background with my really bad eyes.
Here, I'll flip to your screen so then I can help you read.
Oh, I went through the wrong portal.
Oh.
Oh, it's 10 black metal each one.
That's what I
Okay.
get for trying to use these with confidence, because it's
So we need
this one, right?
20 black metal and 6 springs. I guess I should make one more spring.
Yeah. So I have made peace a long time ago with the idea that I will probably eventually be blind. It comes to most of the people in my family. But playing this game where tiny white text appears over a flaming white background, and I'm
Rockfort.
expected to read it is
Oh, hey, I got plenty of iron
Yeah.
here.
that doesn't seem like it has any of the right
That
letters.
doesn't have.
Oh,
Yeah.
do you happen to have any coal on you?
Lux Village Villa.
Swamp 2 is the left side of the swamp set in the portal house.
Ah.
I'm almost worked my way around, so
Wolf Heart.
Come
Or
look for
something.
me. I'm at the portal house.
hi.
It's that one.
It's that
Swamp
one.
2.
Okay. One of the floorboards is missing.
Oops.
I'll see about grabbing some coal.
You know, these
All right,
things
head over.
happen.
Yeah, I don't have any wood on me.
It'd be handy to have some coal. I can feed the meter before
Yeah, it's
we
like
head out.
where do we hide the coal here?
It should be in the
Alright.
box next to the coal thing.
You can
We
run
may
off
have-
to people
I
that
may
are
have
actually having
used,
excitement. I'll let you know if I get attacked by a
Hi,
troll.
Spence.
Hey,
Hi, Spence.
Makes sense. What is the coal thing?
Hello.
you know the giant coal furnace?
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. 10, 10, 3. So it's 10
Did
black
you all
metal.
already get the treasure out of the boat over here?
There's a boat over there?
There's a
No, I don't think we have. You could put on the little thingy and have it ping.
I already gotten the treasure chest. Down to the treasure chest. I need to see-
Okay, so
54 gold.
30,
Cool.
Not bad.
12.
Anytime you see a shipwreck, somewhere
Yeah.
inside it is a treasure chest.
Got treasure.
Woo.
It's one of-
Yar.
Yeah, it's one of the. It is one of the 2 treasure markers, and sometimes they can actually have metals in them.
Mhm.
So
For a second, I was not looking directly at the screen, and I just saw the mouse moving the what is that black metal up to the and I thought it was a fly on my screen. I was about to like whack it, and then I'm like, well, no, that's a bad idea.
oh yeah.
So
That's right. I have the lightning stick.
There's no coal here. I'm making some
Okay.
now.
Oh, I was gonna say, after you finish feeding the thingy, you don't have to wait for it to produce. You can just fill it with 25 and
I did.
run off. Okay, cool. Will you grab 12 Yggdrasil wood?
Forgot
Okay.
I had the giggle-inducing
It
electricity
should
stick.
be in the chest right next to the portal up top. Because I don't think I
Oh,
sorted
there's
it
some.
anyway.
There's some in the wood. Like I put in there at least.
Oh, okay, cool.
So you need 12.
12.
Okay.
I'm gonna go put our boat down. Oh yeah, I have no fish wraps. Dang it. What am I gonna do for foods?
Zap. Sorry, I have the giggle.
Oh,
I have the
Okay,
giggle stick.
I know we generally try to keep this a politics-free zone, but Joe just
Not
came in to
usually,
tell
no.
me.
Anyway, continue.
Well, I try not to. But Joe just came in to tell me that the Orange Man has been indicted in the classified documents case. Here in court on
Nice.
Oh,
Tuesday.
that's
Thank
gonna
you.
be delicious. I can't
How-
wait.
Do you have 2 more lumber
How are
on
we
you?
having
Regular
all
wood?
of these miracles? Because the Supreme
Nope,
Court
I got
also
no wood
That's
right
all
now.
right.
ruled in favor of the Voting
That's
Rights
right.
Act.
And there was what happened in Maryland.
What
Was
happened
it
in
Maryland? Let me read my
Okay.
go back to my
let me
notes
get
real
past you.
quick.
Oh, you took out this stuff here.
Okay. Did you put your stuff
Yeah.
in there?
Yeah.
Maryland
Oh, darn.
governor
Okay.
declares Maryland a trans sanctuary state. It's the 12 states that enact policies that refuse compliance with out-of-state laws that target transgender people. Governor Westmore signed the order on June 6th at a Pride event.
That's
Woohoo!
awesome. Okay, I won't put that down yet.
I love Maryland.
Hold up, then I want to make.
It's a trash state.
I'm
Don't
trying to
get me
set this up,
wrong.
Tom,
It's
so
no,
we can have.
it's a
four
trash
with-
state like all of the others, but it's a glorious trash state,
I guess we don't need that one up here.
and it has wonderfully, wonderfully beautiful forests.
Because I
Terrible
cannot
drivers.
teleport with certain items.
Yeah.
I'm going into a troll cave with the stabby stick. I don't know if there's a troll in here
Okay.
or not, but
Lightning troll.
yep, lightning
Troll!
troll on the inside of a cave.
Oh crap! You grabbed just 50, didn't
Light
you?
'em up.
Uh,
No, I just put the other stuff I've been holding on for the
If
the
you
ballista.
don't kill the
I
troll,
was using the chest to count what I needed.
Poof.
What is it? 10?
if you don't kill a troll inside that lives
for the
inside
ballista.
Yeah.
The ballista, you need 10 Yggdrasil, 10 black, and 3 mechanical.
Yeah, you're probably neither of us are probably.
Can
able
you
to
bring
carry
that character into our game?
I could, yes. I actually have several characters that have very good stuff on them. I just thought I made a new one because I thought you wanted to level me to be the same
I
level
know.
as you.
Almost have it. Okay. So
In case I want to pull a cat and be a cheating cheater that cheats.
try taking out of the chest.
But I know my
20
computer
blood
can't
metal,
handle like mods or anything like that.
6
So
springs, 20 drizzle wood, and 100 bolts. I'm
Well,
hoping
and I
you
don't
can
think
carry
this
that.
is the game for modding,
no.
based on what I've heard
The
about
mods
what
are not-
happens to the game when you do that.
It's not a guarantee. It's just if you do have something bad happen to your game or your computer, the developers will literally mock you if you complain.
Oh,
Because they're very clear. We do not support mods. Mods are not supported in the game. Use them at
You're
your
out
own
here about
risk.
these guys.
And they will roast you on social media if you are like, but my game, or like the one guy who had his graphics card get fried.
Ooh.
They just made fun of him. Like, we told you not to. You did it. Ha ha.
Oh, dang it, I forgot to eat.
Crumb out.
Oh no.
That's all right. Bye, Crumb.
There has to be a spawning thing around here somewhere. There are so many Grey Dwarves.
Probably is.
The question is where?
Yeah.
Is it inside the building?
No, they have to be on land.
Oh.
So the lore behind the Grey Dwarves is that they are the bodies of rapists, murderers, and other brigands.
Troll. Troll.
Time to get zappy with the troll. Ooh, rock to the face.
There we go. Nice group. If you want to run and get the range ones, that would be handy.
The what? Oh,
The range ones.
Why won't you die? There you go. How many times do I have to fork you with lightning?
I can hit like 3 or 4 of these skeletons in one go.
Okay,
It's
so
the-
here
Range ones that.
is a copper deposit.
pain in the butt.
Yeah, my speed is not very good. Crumb slows me down.
I can't believe
The
this.
skeletons are tired of fighting.
I can't believe he actually
That's
got
cool.
indicted.
Now it's in southern Florida, so I don't know like how like how far it'll go.
At this point, dang it, where are you all coming from?
Hi, Nikki. Nikki is here.
Hi, Nikki.
I grabbed Thor's
But
hammer.
yeah, indictments.
There it is.
6 counts, Joe said.
Nice.
Boop.
Nikki
There you
says,
go.
I got the Twitch app on my tablet.
Nice.
Fun.
Well, Nikki and anybody else who might be watching, we have had some conversations, and I do believe that this will be potentially our last stream on Twitch. So we will be moving this Thursday stream over to my YouTube channel at youtube.com/@CEDorset because they had to make it confusing.
So confusing.
Yeah, it's not actually simpler to have to say /@.
Angry Lux.
Splash app.
Oh, you got Angry Lux up there?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I'll throw it over there and see if I can't help with some of that.
Sean just sent me the link to an article about the indictment. I'm gonna reply. I already heard about this.
Joe moves faster.
I'm gonna say
Hardly
Joe
ever-
moves faster.
Like, Tom, don't
If
put
he-
it right there.
Doesn't have CNN on. He's got ESPN on. Those are his 2 news
Yeah.
networks. So
Well, MLS, that horrible cheating Americanized bastard football, finally found a way to get me wanting to watch the games. Because David Messi has come to play for Miami.
Wait, I had my shield up, that cheating fuck. Sorry. Oops. Well,
Yeah, this is why, like,
hey, even when we switch over to YouTube, we were far enough in the stream, it wouldn't have
we're
counted.
far enough into the stream. We only get 6 of them, though, before we're supposed to technically put the
Well,
adults tag on. Technically.
we should make it.
Technically.
Yeah, Naked Viking Run.
Nikki
Yes,
says, WTF, LOL, why can I watch and chat on here using my tablet, but YouTube doesn't let you do that? I don't know. That's weird. Nikki Viking Run.
what kind of tablet do you have? I never have a problem. I don't watch too many lives though on my tablet.
Well, they do hide the chat on the tablet. You have to specifically go in and find the unhide button or the show chat button or whatever it
Did
Yeah.
says.
where'd all this stone come from?
Probably the Lux.
Deluxe going smash.
Okay, so I was trying to walk. We gotta clean all this up. I need to go get some food because I can't do this now. I need a second food that's
Nikki has a
acceptable.
Fire tablet, the 10-inch one.
So that would be using the probably the Amazon. Hopefully, it's using the Android version of the app. I don't know because some of the apps are the general Android app, and some of the apps are special for
The
Mhm.
Amazon one.
Amazon.
Yeah.
It's also possible that no, it should. I don't know. I have aught against the Fire devices, and it's mainly like it's not even like a to hell with Jeff Bezos principle thing. It's why can you not hire a UX designer?
And why does the battery life have to suck so bad?
Just one UX designer. It's the bad UX. It's spending all of its energy, all of its battery,
Oh,
generating that horrible motion graphics piece of poop.
Yeah, I just use the Fire Toolbox app to disable it. All that stuff. You just hook it up to your Windows.
Oh,
There's a free little tool to disable all of it.
Are you okay, Carrie?
yeah. I was putting the rubber like cap on my dip pen because I was playing with my inks,
Mhm.
and I poked myself with the tip of the pen.
Ouch.
Oh,
Ooh.
that's how you give yourself a tattoo.
What has
No,
been
I'm
attacking
not
this
joking.
tower?
I have a dot on my one of my fingers that I tell people is a mole. That is a tattoo that I gave myself in 1993 with a quill.
The answer to that, Tom, is the processor for the dwarven meat
Oh.
spits little balls of fire everywhere. I hear the little guy.
It wasn't an intentional tattoo. I just stabbed myself in the finger, and there was enough ink on the quill that it has never gone away.
Wow.
Well, I cleaned off the. I have a little shot glass here because the little glass that came with the dip pen set and the inks is very, very tiny.
Mm.
So I just went and I grabbed one of my shot glasses.
I'm addicted.
It's one I got from Key West. And it's a shark and it says send more tourists. The last ones were delicious.
That's spectacular.
Yeah, I am slightly addicted to stippling. I love. It's meditative. I love it.
Oh wow, because I cannot stand.
I would say, Charlie, you're one of those
Stippling.
weirdos.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I am definitely one of those. And I love doing pen and ink stuff. I don't do it much anymore because I prefer to stipple than to cross hatch most of the time, and that takes forever.
Yeah, it does.
It looks gorgeous when you're done, but it takes forever.
But it takes forever.
I have this really pretty little notebook that I got. So I've been like writing in it as if I were my character Bridget from the story that's up on my Substack.
Nice.
Because I dress up as her for Ren Fair.
Mm.
So as it's getting closer, I'll write like as if she's preparing for the trip.
Yeah.
As fun for like just for fun.
Mhm.
It helps me get into her head when I
I pull that back corner, Tom.
tackle book 2, which is been
Oh,
so
you're about
hard.
to
Oh my
top
gosh.
the fire.
Yeah.
I was texting Charlie the other day about how editing me is going to hate first drafting me when I get to the end of this book.
I will say incentive to those who are on the call right now. Let me know when you finish Raid, and I will send you the first chapter of Rebirth.
I gotta finish listening.
I wore out the hammer fixing this tower.
Oh yeah, I need to
That's
upgrade
after I
my.
did some repairs to it.
I need to upgrade my pickaxe.
Hi, Maggie.
Here's
Maggie.
a workbench in this corner, or there will be a workbench back in this corner in a minute. It looks like that's what he stomped.
Maggie gave cheer 20.
Hey,
Thank you.
nice, thank you. It's tricky to work, but you can jump up on the cooler and kind of. You just have to squeeze in the corner here, but you can repair your hammer right there.
Oh,
that's just
and
reminding
Maggie is on Tom's channel doing the same thing.
Yes, I think I made Maggie feel a little guilty after I told her the trauma of reading her stories. I was not prepared for her very good descriptions.
She is excellent at the descriptions.
Why you gotta hurt people so good?
Okay.
Maggie says just dropping the things and saying hi.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Hello. Okay,
Speaking of people that I should send chapter 1 of Rebirth to.
Maggie says, Tom, I need your tears for my roses.
Yeah, there you go. They do grow the best off of lacrimal secretions.
Are you a bit over encumbered, Brian?
I am a bit over encumbered. It's a game you'll learn to play called I Want to Carry Everything, but they won't let me. So I will just walk a distance over encumbered. It's because I'm carrying a boat and a giant stack of metal.
This is another reason why I couldn't play this game, because I like to pick up everything. And I wouldn't be able to carry everything. And it would be frustrating.
Stop making me make choices, game.
Choices? What? I can't pick up everything that I find on the ground?
Oh.
Alright, I can carry the wood.
If I didn't carry everything else, I could carry the wood.
So I am also going to burn through some of the iron, because unless somebody has a... Wait.
We need
a thing?
We need more iron.
No.
What thing?
Well, I only have an iron pickaxe. I don't have whatever.
Okay. Go to my box. It's up by the cartography table. Don't burn the iron.
Okay, I'm over encumbered now too.
Okay, you can leave or just rebuild the bench.
I only have a level 1 axe and pickaxe, and it.
Maggie says, I am glad you are enjoying How to Become a Crazy Cat Lady to Survive the Zompocalypse.
Did you run Okay. It's the black metal box.
That doesn't help me.
There should be a black metal pickaxe in there, or at least an iron pickaxe.
There is an iron pickaxe. I have an iron pickaxe.
Did you want a black metal pickaxe? I don't understand what...
So you have a level 4 iron pickaxe. I only have a level 1.
Oh, there you go. That'll give you tons of durability.
Well, yeah, that was the thing, is taking out one of the little things of copper killed my pickaxe. Even with an iron pickaxe. So
that's what the
Maggie says, I think it would be a fun game to make. Kitty Collector meets Last of Us.
Well, I did just get the zombie expansion pack for the Cypher system,
so we should aim ourselves. Oh, I didn't think to take the buff. Well,
that is technically a thing that could happen.
So Tom, I think we'll go in. I guess we have to go in right there, aren't we? Because we can't get the... We might be able to get up there.
Wait, Dwarf Dock? Where are we going?
We're eventually going to go to Dwarf Tower.
Oh, okay.
But there's a Dwarven Cave. We can go up that way to the Dwarven Cave or up that way. But I was going to try to hit over here.
Okay.
Because Dwarf Tower is we rebuilt all that so that we can make that our forward base. And that's where Charlie was talking about having the farm.
Well, no, it doesn't have to be there. Just wherever there's a flat land. You were thinking about doing it back at the dock. And the problem with the dock is there's only that itty bitty tiny space to grow on, and to grow stuff in. And I was like, there's at least a bigger space over there.
Why did we suddenly stop? What's going on?
It wasn't that I was wedded to that location. It was more...
What the heck?
What?
We were cruising along and then we just suddenly stopped.
Did you hit a rock? There can be secret rocks.
We hit thick water, I guess.
Thick water.
I don't know. There was no rock. There was no water.
Hit some Leviathan poo. It happens to the best of us.
Gross.
Mage caps.
But I need you to build a workbench because I forgot to repair the hammer before I left.
Oh.
I did grab the wood, though, so we do have the wood for it.
We have a workbench at the dwarf tower spot.
Okay.
Because remember, we rebuilt that the fort over there.
I'll be right back.
Okay, I think I've
Ooh.
done the things.
Oh no, we're not going to be able to carry all this because we were not going to be able to release the thingy, the wisp light.
Did you forget that you had to have a thing?
Yep, the wisp light.
I got
Technically, I
one.
don't have to, but I'm going to want it. What did we hit?
I mean, if you don't have one, all that will happen to you is you'll get killed by something that you can't see.
Wait, I thought you had a weapon that you can carry in it.
I do.
Yeah.
It will disperse a little bit of the mist. Not much.
Oh, I just realized, like, I'm going to be over encumbered, though, if I can't have my belt, if I have to use the wisp light. Dang it.
Yeah. We might have to just do 2 trips.
My little minion just stole one of my dragons. Oh, now she gave it back.
Okay, I've got it.
Oh, did you just put it into the cargo
You
hold?
know, I've really been wanting to do a collab project with somebody, and everybody keeps turning me down. Okay, Carrie. Quest of the Dragon Thief.
I think that's
It'll be
our
about a
pass.
little girl who steals a dragon
Nope, that's not our pass.
from a sorceress. And shenanigans. I don't know. We'll figure it out from there. That's the basic pitch.
I like the look of that other one.
What do you think?
I don't know what you think, Tom. Which one?
Has
Well, should we
potential.
try the other side and see if it works?
There is no other side. It's one of those
I
two.
really want to do a collab project with somebody.
The one over there looks like, oh, this one's supposed to be bigger. It's awfully narrow.
Maggie
Oh,
says, add always Paramount, Sonic, Apple scuba goggles for 6K? Is that right? Or 5?
They're 3.5.
5.
The new Apple Vision's 3.5.
Apple scuba goggles for $5,000.
that's
Okay.
mighty fine
The
boating.
dirt
right
on
there.
my screen made it look like a 6.
Ooh,
But
Oh.
still.
that was not easy.
They
I
don't
can't
have
believe I
they
didn't
don't have
bump
expansion
anything.
offers, and they're 3.5. I'm confused at the pricing. Because I got excited about them because I really want to have a triple monitor set up to do for some of the graphics things that I'm doing, and they're cheaper than the 3 4K monitors. And the stacked and the computer stack that I'd have to get to power them. Not that I can afford to get them anyway, but
Tom, are you able to release your mist light?
that, and I also kind of want them for the theater
I mean,
mode.
I'm definitely carrying too much now, so.
Can you put it into the cargo hold behind you?
Yeah.
Are you able to carry it? Oh gosh, reverse course. Holy crap. I'm so glad you released the wisp light. Did you see what's sitting there on the shore waiting for us?
Yeah.
Y'all?
And you didn't say anything?
No, I
I mean-
was looking away. I see it now, though. Like,
You run him into his death a lot. It's only fair that he do it to you every now and then. It's called karma.
Are you able to? Did you put the stuff in the, Can you move?
yeah, I'm good.
Okay, get off the boat and then go up and around to the right.
So funny
Over that
story.
way.
Once upon a time, I had
You
a
want
friend.
high ground. I wouldn't touch the shore over there. You went the wrong way around, but okay.
Once upon a
Do we
time,
need this banner?
Brian has a plan that gets person killed.
yes.
Yes.
Once upon a time, I had a stripper friend named Karma, and I thought that was her stripper name, and it wasn't. It was her real name.
Oh
Well, her
no.
parents gave her karma.
Nikki says, I was trying to figure out how to enable chat on YouTube, but I can't figure it out. Ugh.
Okay, I'm gonna get my crossbow out so we can load.
And
I'll
that's
find
just
the
bad
stuff.
design on their part then.
Yeah.
Hey, is there a dwarf nearby?
Let's
I think so because it just talked to you.
Yeah.
Is that the one that's in the mountain, though?
Yeah. You might be able to shoot at things.
So, we gonna unload our stuff?
I'm going to try to draw the attention of the very nasty soldier cicada thingy
Why?
because we need to kill it before we try going anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
Or it's going
Because
to
he's
kill us.
Brian.
Either we kill it or it kills us.
Okay, since none of you seem to have put it together right now, Brian is Darkwing Duck. His answer to everything is let's get dangerous.
Be careful out there, it says.
And if you're not willing to be his Launchpad McQuack,
You never know what you'll something.
Yeah, you'll run into that right there. Here we go, Tom.
Seeker soldier.
He's coming towards me. I'm running back towards you. Don't get too close.
I can't.
Don't hit
Oh,
the
there's
wall.
the dwarf.
He's going around to fight the Seeker soldier.
Where's the soldier?
No.
He's
Somewhere in the mists.
yeah.
Dwarfs will start shooting at him soon.
that's a lot of zombies coming up the mountain to kill me. And it's
Yeah,
not
it
even
is.
a defense. What the hell?
Maggie says, when you name your children Karma, Dharma, and Dogma. And ... Then Maggie is singing, he'll be coming round the mountain when he comes.
I'm good.
He'll be coming round the mountain
Oh,
when he
crap.
comes.
There you go, Tom.
What was that?
Here he comes. He's right on us. I hope you're
Oh,
in a safe
no.
spot.
That was like
You forgot roll
herd
on.
of zombies came up the mountain. There was a bunch of draugrs of all of them were starred. A couple of them were two
Oh
starred.
no.
Aim for the pink
Like
area.
a big massive draugr just ate me.
Crap, I need endurance again.
I blame Brian. I don't know how it's his fault, but somehow he tricked the draugr into attacking me.
I did.
Naked Viking die, run.
Yeah, he's eat through this rock,
No, that was like a full scene out of The Walking Dead. I was in the Black Forest, and turned around, and there was just a wall of zombie.
Ooh, Tommy's going to get you in there.
Apparently, the zombies are now attracted to sound.
Oh.
You're just like him. Oop, I shot myself
You're
right
gonna
off
fall.
the edge. Yeah. Oh, darn it. My endurance. Come on, endurance.
Maggie says, do you need braid spray? Too bad. Bayer bought Monsanto and you can only get aspirin now.
Oh, Maggie.
They do burn nicely. And yes, see, I still use flaming arrows because they amuse me.
Nikki says, random thought, Outlander is coming back June 16th.
Ooh, I got a
I
crit
have
hit.
never watched an episode of Outlander, though everyone has told me I should.
Okay, we
I
have a
have
waving
successfully
banner.
avoided it. I do not want to watch Outlander.
It really
is
seems
not
like
my
something that's in my
shit.
wheelhouse, but
Yay. Okay.
I don't know. I just haven't made time for it.
Up over this way.
I've heard good things from a bunch of my friends, but
Yeah. Maggie says, never watched it or read the books.
I always forget that there are books.
Be on guard. There might be another thing somewhere because
Yeah.
this is where stuff and things. So it should be, if I remember correctly, just up the
Okay,
hill here.
you should be around here somewhere. Oh, my body rolled all the way down. That's some bullshit.
It rolled all the way down into the swamp.
Yes.
Oh, no.
The zombies reanimated it and had your body walk itself down. Here we go, Tom. Up here. You can repair your hammer and we can drop off the parts for the ballista.
Okay.
Because there should be a box. Did I put a box in here? Ah, crap. I must have been out of wood.
You were using your body as a
Yeah.
I got 10 wood.
storage.
Do you mind
Yeah.
building a box over here
Where?
in this corner?
Sure.
Let me get out of the way. I know it's kind of snuggy in here.
I used to have one of those.
What I think it means. What do you think it means? I'm
not-
wearing one
yeah.
right now.
Because the nice thing about this is the Gajal can't spit fire
I don't know
down
what
through our
happened
roof.
to it.
I am
Not
an old
easily.
person, and I don't know what I would do
I
without
think it's
it.
got to go right where you're standing.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. Nice. It's even
Actually,
better.
have, I
Nikki
think,
Sally, I keep having to remind you, you're not that much older than me. And I don't want to think I'm old yet.
okay, but see, there's a difference. I have to
Oh,
count my
actually-
age in gay years,
Shoot.
which means you multiply by like 10.
I should have left that stone there.
So
You go put this back.
Nikki says, Witcher is coming back June 29th and July 27th. For some reason, they're
Yeah.
splitting into 2 parts.
Yeah, I'm excited.
I am both excited and sad, but mostly
All right.
excited.
Should we go back down? Sure.
Yep, let's go get that black metal. I figure between two of us, we should be able to carry it all.
I do not have faith in the other Hemsworth to be able to pull off the role.
Mm.
Not that there aren't any Hemsworths I could see pulling off the role, because there are. But
I also think I'm going to try to build us a little landing area, better marina. Oh, actually, there is a nice little. I could pull it. Hey, Tom, I'll pull the boat up here.
Okay. Now that there's nothing here to.
Yeah, to make life.
Tom, why did you say that? You just called it Yaller. And now that there's nothing here to. Oh, there it is.
For the moment. Oh, no. I mean, there will be stuff coming back.
Yeah.
Nikki says, I'm going to give the next season a chance.
I am too.
Or-
I'm just.
Or if you feel like parking the boat.
It's. There are blobs up here now.
Yeah, but you get the
Oh,
Zappy
no.
Blob Go boom. Nice. You're going to park the boat? I'll go wait by the shore.
Yeah.
Oh, what was that?
Yeah.
Do I
We're
have to
clear.
do this app?
By the way, I'm going to go in here and put in.
I mean, I really like the books. I've really been enjoying the show. I really liked the animated.
You want me to
Wolf.
steer you a little bit? So you can push forward. You want to go this other way, all the way in.
I would not mind having them do more animated stuff.
This way you can just push forward.
Or just some live action stuff with Theo James. Like, if you're going to get rid of
That'll work.
Henry Cavill, just give us a prequel series starring Theo James. I'm fine. I'm absolutely fine.
I need more shows that appeal to me. Like, why do I have to have such niche interests? It's very frustrating. I would rather be like a general
Do you have any left or no?
mass appeal kind of person, because then I'd have lots of stuff to read, but or watch, but because I have to be picky.
See, I used to feel like you do, except for right now at least. Like, sci-fi and fantasy is popular.
If you need to throw some on me,
Yeah.
throw some on me.
And
I went ahead and drew the sword and put away the wisp light because I couldn't quite carry it
See,
all.
I used to be really
Okay, I just
into
needed you to take
fantasy.
one-
Like, that used to be the only thing I would read. And then I kind of read everything, and so now all the stories sound the same, and I
There you go.
just I need a long
Okay.
break
All right,
from
let's
it
run.
Yeah.
because I've read all the stories.
that's actually the struggle that I'm having with both writing and just having fun with doing fantasy, because I also stopped reading fantasy because, again, look, I get it. I like Tolkien too, or Name Your
Mhm.
Poison. Like, I enjoyed Wheel of Time when I read it. Thank you
Yeah.
very, very much. Like, but you're not a
Yeah. Out of endurance.
And so, I'm a lot of my struggle and a lot of the things that I'm trying to do.
You just drop it in the chest. Hopefully there's room for it.
Ooh, that's a 1-star. Light him on fire! Lighting!
Am I like not hitting it? There we go.
No, he was just strong. He was a 1-star. Ooh.
Okay.
Okay.
Maggie says, to be honest, I'm worried about the Hemsworth being able to properly fill out what's his name's leather pants.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that, because
Okay, that was too much.
and honestly, like, to me, only one of the Hemsworths is a proper Hemsworth, and Geralt is like the ultimate himbo.
Do that.
I
Okay,
don't know
Tom,
if
I
you've
need to
read
get
the-
past you.
I don't know if you've read the books or not.
'Cause
But
that's
like,
to the
he's-
roof. This one I wanted to put on
Geralt
the
is
roof.
himbo
Oh, there's a.
the mold of
up here.
himbo.
Maggie says, no, Charlie, you want to feel that.
There, got him.
I don't actually know where the inflection was supposed to be in that sentence. I just guessed.
But yeah, with the stuff that I'm doing for the Shadow Phoenix Saga, I'm really trying to not just give in to some of the things, and that's been one of the big struggles. Is a lot of people noticed that the book starts very tropey, and yeah, it does. And the goal is that we're going to be moving further and further away from those as the story progresses. But
Mhm.
I kind of boil a frog here.
Yeah. And that does make things complicated because, like, as in one of Brandon Sanderson's classes that he posted on YouTube, he talks about this exact scenario where, like, you want to give the readers what you promise in the beginning, but if you want to do something like that, it's kind of hard to like make it clear that things are going to change, like that they aren't going to be exactly what you expect with following tropes and whatnot.
And
He of
I'm
course explains it a lot better than me, but
And that's like the thing that I'm hoping, I've been able to start telegraphing. Like, I don't think the end of the book is what anybody would expect from, especially a lot of the modern epic fantasy that I've read, at least.
Mhm.
And it's only going to get weirder and more idiosyncratic from here. Like, my heroes in writing fantasy wrote some of the most idiosyncratic books, and I don't even like saying their name because the idea of having my name anywhere near theirs like makes me nauseous.
Mhm.
But like,
Hmm.
I've got some weird and wacky things that I want to do with that world.
Mhm.
But I was watching somebody talking about this the other day, but from the sci-fi point of view, and like, it's really a struggle because there are certain things that you kind of have to have, or
Yeah.
people get really frustrated with you, and whether or not you want to have those things in the story or not.
Mhm.
And
Nikki, oh, continue.
no, I'm just saying it's a frustrating tightrope because
Mhm.
it'd be really easy to just write the story everybody expects the story to be and do a paint by numbers, because paint by numbers are a lot easier than trying to actually paint an original portrait.
Mhm. Nikki says, I need Henry's Geralt to tell Yen he loves her. I swear if
Yes.
that doesn't happen, I'll scream.
Yeah, I feel that.
Did you take the stone that was in the box?
Yeah, I got it.
Cool. May I have some of that?
Yeah.
I mean, the
Who
thing
needs some?
I'm a little
Never mind. There's some in the grave. I can use that.
also, I wanted to see Henry Cavill have to go through
Oh
the
no, wait.
Little
That's
Mermaid
not
arc.
stone. That's iron.
Here you go.
And I don't want to do any spoilers for anybody who hasn't read the books, but there's a Little Mermaid arc in the books that
Let's just do that.
dang it.
What keeps throwing stuff at you?
Those little guys.
There's just everywhere, and
Jerks in the woods.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
There's
accurate.
got to be a spawn point.
Somewhere.
I already took out 2 of them.
Nikki didn't hear what you said, Charlie, about what you want him to do.
I really wanted to see him go through the Little Mermaid arc from the books.
Mm.
And I don't want to give any spoilers for anybody who hasn't read the books because it's delightful. And it involves oh dang it, my brain's stuck on Dandelion. What's his name in the TV show?
Casper?
The Bard. In the books, his name is Dandelion, and I can't remember what they call him in the show. But it's one of my favorite stories, and I really wanted to see Henry Cavill have to play through it.
Jasker?
Yeah, yes, yeah. I'm bad with names as it is, and the fact that the name is different in the book and in the TV show.
They just run around like, oh, they're absurd.
They are.
Yeah, there's got to be a spawn point around here somewhere. I hear you. Yes, throw rocks at me. It'll be fine. There you go.
Should we set up a ballista to take out the seekers as well?
That's what I'm doing right now.
Our
For the
ballista's
garden.
portable. Can I have
Okay.
a portable ballista that I can carry around?
You have to load it.
Let's get up to the top of the hill there and see where they're coming from. Because there should be a purple glow. And that's what I'm not seeing is the purple glow.
Yeah. Where's the purple glow that lets us know where they are?
Because like this thing's going to spawn skeletons. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, I haven't seen skeletons except for the ones that have come up from the swamp. Nope. Okay. I thought I saw a big blue something on the horizon. I feel like we should have seen it by now if there was one.
I want to set it up to look over garden bed.
Oh, that's a bad thought.
What?
Okay, don't hate me and don't cancel me for this, but hey, look, New York's over the horizon.
Oh my god.
Oh,
boy. It's
I
tough.
told you it was
Too
bad.
soon. Too soon.
I know. Did you ask what? I looked up and saw the orange sky, and it made me think of that. And admittedly, I am a bad person. And the first person to say this about myself.
I saw someone on Notes post like growing up near LA in the 90s prepared me for this moment here in New York,
Oh,
the sky, and I just was like, yeah, because the smog used to be so bad. I mean, I used to have, like, as a kid growing up near LA, like, my chest would hurt so often just from the smog and, like, trying to play out in the putrid air. It's so much better now. Like, it's not, it's bad, but it's not, like, nearly as bad as it used to be.
It's amazing what getting rid of leaded gasoline did.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for Seeker. And it is.
Oh, my mom gave me a couple
Loaded.
N95 masks, and because it's predicted to come here like by sometime tomorrow.
Oh, it's already here. How did it skip you?
I don't know. I mean, it's been hazier than usual, but we haven't had like the bad. I don't know.
Like the
But in
sky.
case downtown Cleveland looks like New York,
On the roof, Tom? Did you see how I set those other two up?
I made sure that Joe takes those masks to
Yeah.
work
Their
because
arc covers each other. They
of
should be
his
far enough
asthma.
apart not to get
Yeah.
hurt.
Well, if y'all need masks, we can
And-
try to send you some because when we went on our trip,
They'll shoot
Brian
the-
misordered
Look at you. Yeah,
and got
Yeah,
us a
yeah.
box of 60.
yeah, I did. Oh,
There we are. Found it.
Purple.
more.
The only time purple is bad. Right, Megan?
Is it ever really truly bad?
Yeah. I agree with Megan. Agreed.
The only time purple is like bad is, well, growing up, it was the Lakers because I grew up in a Celtics family. And growing up in LA as a Celtics fan was definitely an interesting experience. I don't actually follow sports, but my dad does enough that I could listen to him and spout off enough stuff to sound like I
I need to move this
knew
to-
enough about what I was talking about.
Oh, that's like being Joe and growing up in Cleveland being a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. It's just wrong.
I don't want to start watching MLS again.
Nikki says, "Oh man, I forgot about all that. Are you all okay? Did any of that smoky air get to your state?"
Yeah, the air is very gritty here. It feels like when that big sandstorm came across the Pacific.
Mhm.
Tom, do
Here,
you
my eyes have been watering a lot.
Do I
have
have what?
two wood on you?
Yeah, I just got some wood.
Awesome. Well, here, you just
I've had
throw
a
your
headache
wood on me.
for 2 days.
Mm.
Ooh. That
And I
works.
didn't know that it was actually related to the stuff that I was watching, the weather, and they pulled up the satellite, and you can watch the smoke as it's moving across the
Okay,
the
grab any
continent. And I was
Nikki
like, hey,
says, "Ad time, can't hear you."
up.
that cloud is right over our head. Guess what? That won't be happening next week.
Okay, we're back.
I've had a headache for the last 2 weeks. Not 2
Mm.
weeks, 2 days from it.
Oh, I need 4 stone.
I didn't even know that it could be related to that because I wasn't thinking about it because our skies aren't like
Yeah.
massively discolored or anything. But when they were doing the weather, they showed the satellite view, and you can watch the smoke as it creeps down here.
Mm.
And I was like, "Hey, that line of smoke is like right over our house." Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if we're just in a little fortunate pocket or like
well, it makes like a comma shape
mm,
because of the way that it's interacting with the trough. So it's possible it's wrapped around you, but the whole comma is marching south.
mm.
So it will eventually get there, unfortunately. But there are
Maggie
no-
says, "Ads, Paramount, always Sonic, Apple goggles."
Get our goggles. We commend you.
if I were a sports fan, like I kind of wanted to be a sports fan when I watched their demo of the new ESPN app because you can set a table surface in your house to have a full 3D heads up of the game.
Nice.
So you
That's
can,
cool.
yeah. And I was like, wait, what? I mean, it makes sense that they could do that because they have so many cameras around, you
Would
know?
they be able to do that for figure skating? Because I would
Oh.
like watch that so much. That would win me over because I used to love figure skating so much. It was my sport.
Because I watched all of WWDC because every now and then I have a weakness and I'm like, I'm going to get back into writing apps again.
Maggie says they need to be honest that Apple users don't want goggles. They just want a charger cord that won't break weekly.
Well,
Living in the house that Apple built, I've never had a problem with my charger port. But
let's see.
As I look over at my long dead 4th generation iTouch.
I miss the touch. The touch was a good buzz.
Tom, do you have 10 more wood on you?
Not quite. I can go get some.
So I only saw one more
Oh, here's a tree.
copper out here.
I'll try cutting these down and see.
The advantage of my dad having a DJ side gig was I could raid his music collection. I just take his flash drive and copy it onto my computer and
I think I would make a pretty decent DJ if I like tried. Just because I love the music so much. I could probably make some good choices for dance music.
Oh, that reminds me, Megan. Have you heard Bite Me Bambi's latest, Girls of Summer?
No, I haven't.
I think
I'm
you'll
gonna have to
enjoy
look
it.
that up.
She's talking
Have-
about living in SoCal.
Oh, I always enjoy that. Have you had a chance to listen to any Alt Black Era, spelled ALTBLKERA?
Not in like the last few months.
They just came out with a song called they just came out with a song and it is really good. I can't remember what it's called, but it's like I'm normally like this or something like that. It's a god. I really enjoy their music though.
Seekers.
Oh
Run
no!
back and test it.
I'm trying to, but I probably won't make it.
Oh, two seekers.
Oh, you're up there. Okay.
Oh no! Run! You've got this.
You could do it.
You've got this. Oh
Anthony,
no!
go to the trees.
I got the wood, so I can put the crafting bench down, so I can put down the other ballista.
Yes. Oh, there.
Don't arm it yet. There we go.
Here, I'm coming.
Aim towards you. We could test it if they're still chasing you.
Oh, they're
Because if you
still
run right
chasing.
through, you should be right in the kill zone. Because I set them up on both sides of the garden.
Here they come.
Once I can test my new sword and shield. Where are they at? Oh,
Right behind you.
boom! Boom! Up! Nice.
Anyone else just have a flashback to watching what was it? The Neverending Story?
Yeah. Well, Charlie, we tested it and we know it works. It takes 2 to 3 shots, though, to get him. Oh, there's the other one. I see where he landed. Here he comes. Boom!
Oh,
Right in his face. Right in the kisser. Boom! Right in the kisser again. And pop.
What? He's got a problem, yeah.
Yeah. Boom right in the kisser.
I mean, they're working.
They're working really well. I've got them in pretty well defended spots, too. So
takes
the
about
Seekers
3 hits and they're gone.
are going to have trouble getting to them. Now, I've got another stack of 100 bolts on standby for rearming them. Dismantle that crafting station. There we go. But that should help a lot. So at least when it comes to Seekers and when it comes to the Yawls, we've got the defended tower here. Yay. Which becomes a nice forward base of operations for us. Okay, I've got to go that back. I'm going to leave the wood and 4 stone in this box. So we need that for a stone workbench.
Okay, dear. There you go. Run.
But that leaves us a pretty decent coverage.
As long as we do not upset anything.
Yeah, call the wrath upon us.
Yeah.
Why do you continuously jinx each other?
We'll be right back. I'll be right back.
As the saying
Oh,
goes,
now you're going to leave him alone
Yeah.
after jinxing.
Oh,
is no-
man.
there's no real safety.
But I really felt if I did that first, we would have like everything come and attack before putting the ballistas up.
Okay, that's why I'm now making sure all the ballistas are fully loaded.
Oh, good thing you had just eaten.
Yeah. I am not, the most graceful jumper.
I know, right? Like, the game is supposed to make me feel super powered, not like they do in real life.
I mean, it is like being super powered, like, young Peter Parker super powered.
Like, before the spider bite, super powered.
No, I mean, after the spider bite, super powered and just
Oh, when he didn't know what he was doing?
couldn't land to save his life.
Yeah.
So the next question is, Charlie, do you want me to put a stone wall around your garden?
I don't care. These are too many questions.
Okay. Please leave it open.
I have all of the decision fatigue.
What's really funny is if you wanted to set up one for the rabbits, but that just, I don't know if the rabbit food is, if rabbit meat makes good food or not.
I don't know. All I know is what Jello Biafra taught me. That soup is good food.
So,
Beyond that, I know nothing.
oh.
Well, we can at least set up a few of the mage caps and see what happens.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds like a great idea.
Although I suggest only planting like 3, since
Is that boat up in the portal house over here, or
the boat I left.
Yeah.
It's down at the dock, the old house.
okay?
But it's the only thing in that box, so you can just take all.
I do love that Jello is like one of the last punks alive, and he has a YouTube channel.
Oh,
I-
you know what I haven't been able to handle, on the other hand, in music?
What?
Go look up, just Google Danny Elfman.
Oh no! What did he do now?
No, what?
Just what he looks like now.
Oh, did he?
He's
go and-
shirtless.
Wait, what? He didn't look good shirtless when he was young and nubile.
Oh, as someone said, it's nice to see somebody's getting some HRC.
Oh.
It's not right.
Nikki says, another random thought or whatever from me. Guess what I have to do in a few months? I have to have a kidney stone removal surgery. Oh,
Ugh.
no fun. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, that's always hard.
Yeah.
And I do feel like I now know why Ireland has been a land riddled by war for centuries and millennia. I got to the lesson where they taught me 2 very important words: give and take.
Mm-hmm.
Give, if I were to say I give, that is togum. I take is togum.
Nikki says, it's okay. I'll be okay.
Charlie, you want to hear the thought Glory has that, it's like, oh, someday she'll get canceled for this one. Of why she enjoys watching staged.
I'm curious.
She said there's just something right about watching the Welsh yell at the Scottish. It's so entertaining and it feels nice inside.
I mean, that's almost as bad as like me desperately scouring my family tree, hoping to find a Welsh ancestor. Because then, like, I know that there's like not a chance in hell I'll have a Manx ancestor, but if I can find a Welsh one, then I have like as close as I'll ever get to Celtic bingo.
Ancestry DNA has a new feature that's kind of interesting. You can, if you get your DNA done through them, you can see which of your chromosomes are from which genetic group by like country area. So like I see which ones are which chromosomes I get from the Welsh versus the Scottish.
Because I have
Versus-
that would be fun. Because I know the Montgomerys are from Scotland, the Dorsets are from Ireland. I have no idea if I have any Welsh in there, but like I've got the Scots, I've got the Irish. The Manx never leave the island, so there's no chance of that one. But if I can find a Welsh,
The Manx will cut you for even suggesting they wouldn't leave the island.
yeah.
Maggie says ads always Metro, T-Mobile, Paramount Plus, Sonic, Subaru, Apple goggles. LOL.
Well, Maggie, after this week, ads will not be an issue anymore. All of my pennies will go away.
Oh, the song is called I'm Normally Like This. It's popping on my I'm listening to music as I watch you guys play Valheim. It's a good song. I really enjoyed it. I even commented on their YouTube video where they had posted this song, and they commented back because there were only like 7 comments when I commented, and they were like, "Thanks, Megan, for liking the song," and whatever else they said. It was really sweet. I enjoyed it.
I mean, I swear I listen to more music than just one band, but I have not been able to get Ghost's cover of Jesus He Knows Me out of my head. It's mainly because every time it like finally gets out, I see something on the news by some self-righteous religious prick, and it's like right back in there. I remember when the original Genesis song came out, how relevant the song was then. Because hey, it was about Pat Robertson and his cohort who just died. And I was kind of hoping it would become one of those songs that's like a quaint reminder of the times. And nope, still relevant for reasons.
Because I've been listening to so much music on Spotify has messaged me twice. Like, did you know you have discovered like 500 and some odd genres of music in like, I don't remember what ridiculous time period it was, but they've sent me 2 pop-ups now about like my listening habits, and I'm like, do I really listen that much? I mean, I do, but do I really listen that much?
The first thing I ever had against Spotify was back when they first came out. I'm pretty sure they fixed this, but they had the library match feature where you could tell it where you kept your like MP3 folder.
Oh yeah, it
on your
still
computer.
does that.
It told me it could not match because there were too many songs.
Oh wow, I don't know if it still does that.
I'm hoping they fix that because I was like, but
rude.
Don't try to be a music app and tell me that I have too much music.
Yeah.
What?
Oh God, why are one of them talking to me again?
Did you plant the garden? Did the dwarves start responding?
No, I just had someone go well met. And I assumed that was Hugin or Mugen.
Might be one of the dwarves.
Yeah, I think it was a dwarf.
Where the heck are they?
Oh no. They're here.
Okay.
Oh no.
Cooked
Who's
seeker meat.
there?
Oh, that's not
The
bad.
group of felons found me.
Ah.
It's same thing like the cooked hare meat, except for we have lots of seeker meat, so
Set me on fire?
I will start eating that. Uses less resources than the fish tacos.
Wow,
The
that
meat
was
platters are
almost
kind of
death.
nice, though.
Or maybe it was 5,000 genres. It was some ridiculous number.
Okay. So I'm going to go continue working on stuff.
So Punk Rock MBA just put out a video trying to explain Skrillex.
Skrillex?
What's their explanation?
Well, I think the only explanation I needed was I didn't know his real name was Sonny.
Oh, you didn't?
No, I'd never heard his real name. I really don't have a lot of interest there with.
Yeah.
And I was like,
He
oh.
dated Ellie Goulding for a while, and I was obsessed with her. So then I was like tangentially obsessed with him.
He talks about that too.
Bloop.
And then he played some music from his emo band.
Right over his head. But his
And I mean, I'm
is
not the
bad.
biggest fan of emo music to begin with, but nothing makes me respect his dubstep more than his emo band. Because, like, if it's a choice, like if you're gonna do one of these two things, yeah, keep up with the dubstep. It's fine.
Yeah. I've heard his emo music before. It's not great.
I think the word that you're looking for is it's special. Like somebody got too many hugs from their mom and thought that they could do anything.
Let's say White Boy with a Band special.
Yes, because he was smart enough to realize that he couldn't sing, but decided that who needs to be able to sing when you can scream? And then he didn't even do that right. And apparently he did it so wrong that he blew his own throat out and had to have emergency surgery to fix it.
Oh, man.
I mean, that's a certain kind of impressive.
He stole the wrong direction.
I think
two of them.
Maggie is saying, "This Charlie's on fire."
Yeah.
From earlier.
Oh, man.
Wow. 5 hit point tick is pretty sweet.
Why are you not letting me pick up the ore anymore? What's going on? My auto thing get turned off.
Hail, warrior. Where is
Where-
this voice coming from?
That's what I'm trying to figure out.
Did you actually get Odin's attention?
Oh, grab it. Okay.
I'm very
Are
confused.
dwarves just regularly trapped in rocks?
Apparently.
I mean, at least according to Tolkien, that's how they started.
Nikki says, "Does anyone know who Oh My Gosh TV is?"
No.
I have no idea who that is.
In fairness to me, I was born in the 1800s, so
It's a YouTuber.
I don't do these kids today. I just sit around and I listen to my devil music and my gangster rap, and I'm happy.
The hippity hoppity, bippity boppity. just, it confused both of us. He just kind of buzzed right up in my face, and we just kind of stood there for a minute,
So,
confused. Like one of us is supposed to do something.
as you know, our government has refused to do anything about the guns that keep killing people. So I'm sure you've seen by now the PSA of how to possibly survive a mass shooting should you be in one video that they did instead. If you haven't, it's its own kind of precious. But I don't recommend that you actually watch it in and of itself, but that you go to Foreign Man and a Foreign Lands channel and watch his viewing party of it. Because in order to keep his video TOS, he replaces all of the gunshot sounds with the scatting from Man's Not Hot.
Oh yeah, it's precious. It's so amazing.
I mean, the video is ridiculous in and of itself because it's like
Ooh,
useful
watch out for the
information
cake.
like run away and hide. And if you're a black person, run towards the nearest cop you can see. They will save you.
Oh,
Do we have a Lux trophy?
Yeah.
I think so.
Fudge.
Maggie says, "Wow, I
Okay.
have now been blocked by 26 and reported by almost 200, but there's nothing they can do because I was polite, concise, and informed."
Wait, what?
Wait, what have you
Maggie's
been
been
blocked
picking-
by?
Maggie's been trolling Twitter,
Oh,
especially
I
all
have
of the
missed this.
environmentalists
Nice.
who are definitely not actual. They're just, kids who are
yeah.
I'll be right back. I am
doing
being summoned by
virtue
Minion.
signaling.
Okay,
Okay.
I will hold down the fort.
But yeah, that's Maggie's new pastime.
That's a good pastime.
I don't know. Last time I tried to go to Twitter, like the page would not load. It just kind of spun for a while and timed out. And I
Yeah.
was like, I'm taking this as a sign. The gods have decided I am not supposed to be here. And you don't know how to run a website anymore. It's fine.
Maggie says, evidently they feel better artisanal mining slavery than big oil until one person points out the amount of plastic in their world because oil isn't just fuel. And then Maggie says, so true, Tom. I had too much fun with it.
Good.
I like how Maggie is switching between channels to comment on each one.
I mean, is that not how you keep your conversations, coherent?
Yes. Actually, I don't do that, but I know people who do that.
It is an intriguing organizational model.
And I just.
Okay, so who wants to watch a ballista of Papa Lux?
Oh, hold on. Let's switch to your switching. Okay.
So, I don't know how many people.
Maggie says, Stream Hoppers United on both channels.
So, I don't know how many people are going to get this reference, but every day we play Valheim together, I feel like Megan is more and more like Barbara from Ted Lasso.
I haven't seen. Hold on, I'm gonna see what Sean says about that.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Just
How do I compare to Barbara from Ted Lasso?
well, so
I'm
Barbara-
sending him a text. I was voice text.
Oh, this kid.
Wait,
well, it's mainly there's in the finale they take her to Keeley takes her to one of Richmond's soccer games, and they ask her if she enjoys football. And she says no, she's a rugby girl because in football there's not enough blood and violence. And she's just kind of bored watching the game until a ball gets kicked into the stands and breaks a fan's nose. And she jumps up and starts cheering and hooting and hollering and like, finally, there's blood, yes. And it just like really has this like moment of celebration. And other than that, she's like this really demure kind of like not just like unassuming, polite, like I don't want to be a bother, but you know, kind of person except for I need my blood.
Oh.
Boom! Right in his face. Right in his face. Boom! Right again.
So in that way, I kind of get like some Barbara vibes for you. From you.
So Peanut comes in, wants me to rock her just before bedtime. I'm like, okay. So I get up. I hobble my way into her bedroom. No, Daddy Rock, Daddy Rock. I'm like,
Oh.
30 seconds. It took 30 seconds to change your mind.
His child.
Come on, Lux, come
Yes.
get me. Yeah.
I mean,
Is
in
it not
fairness,
correct?
is also an
Oh
adult.
crap! I'm out of health and food. Lux is dead.
Woo.
There. Now I have food.
Apparently,
hear-
Sean
I can
has
hear
not
one of the
seen
crows.
season 3.
She's in
Or
season
something.
2.
Oh, okay. He doesn't remember the character.
She's the accountant at Keeley's firm. She's in season 2 and 3. She's funny in season 2, but oh my goodness, I fell in love with her in season 3.
Apparently, there were ads. Nikki says Vision Pro, Axe, Sonic, John Wick 4, Urban Decay. And Maggie says Xbox, Chase, Visa, Sonic, Apple, and Axe.
Brian's happy. He loves the John Wick movies. Like,
Yep.
yes, give us your John Wick money. We give you enough of ours. And how dare you, HBO, ruin my excitement over the John Wick TV series?
I'm telling you, hopefully he's just somebody who dies really quickly in a horrible way.
I think it
it's
would
all
be
good.
hilarious. That would be great. I would enjoy watching him get tortured to death. If that's why Mel Gibson is in the Continental, I will gladly watch him get slowly tortured to death.
Yeah, it's about the only reason. I mean, I don't like that he got paid, but
I have a feeling that he's probably going to be their stand-in for everybody else's name has gone through my head except for the actor and the character that I'm thinking of. The guy that actually ran the Continental.
Yeah. I got it.
And he's really one of those people that really frustrates me. And like, why do you have to be so horrible? Because like, I wasn't the biggest Mel Gibson fan, but like when Tina Turner died the other day, I just needed to listen to "We Don't Need Another Hero." Like, I just needed that song to like process my feelings about her passing. And unfortunately, I went to YouTube and it immediately pulled up the music video, and I saw Mel Gibson's face, and then got like very angry.
He has a face that'll do that.
And it's like, why do you have to be such a horrible person?
There.
Because if he wasn't, he wouldn't have a personality.
I mean, he is an Australian that left Australia, so
You got a point there.
and no one was that sad to see him go.
Nikki wants to know what Mel Gibson ever did to you.
He is a raging racist anti-Semite who constantly uses the N-word in court. When his wife was divorcing him, he said in court that he hoped that she got assaulted in a naughty way by a group of N-words until she died.
Yikes.
Yeah.
He is
Jeez.
a raging anti-Semite who believes that the Jews secretly control the world. And honestly, if that was true, you'd be dead right now, Mel. I'm just saying. Like, you don't understand how all these people think that they would still be alive if their conspiracy theories were true.
Yeah.
Like, I know if I was a part of a secret cabal that was controlling the world and somebody said something bad about me or people like me, they wouldn't be around anymore. Like,
Yeah.
isn't that the point of having a secret cabal that controls the world?
Oh, shit. We need a lot more iron. Okay.
He also made one of the most anti-Semitic movies of all time, and that's The Passion of the Christ.
Yeah.
And
what is actually being said in the movie is not what's translated on the front. I mean, on the subtitles. It is far, far worse.
yeah, and Catherine Emmerich, who wrote the book that it's based on, May She Burn in Hell for All Eternity, and May There Be a Hell just for her, was a raving anti-Semite who believed that the devil was a woman, which is why when you watch the movie, the devil is a woman, because only women are evil, all men are good. And
Where did she get that idea? Like,
she was dying from eating human feces at the time.
gross. Very disgusting. I'm a little horrified.
And in her feverish state, had visions. And people take them seriously.
They're poop visions. Why would you,
Yes.
like... Oh,
Because is that any worse of a source of visions than every other?
Well, like everyone who believes in the rapture believes in it because of a poop vision.
Yeah.
There's a 15-year-old girl in Ireland is the first person to ever talk about that, and she had the cholera.
I love how it's weird how many people think that's in Revelation. It's like
Yeah, it's not in the Bible at all.
there's none of that in the Bible.
Nikki says, TMI, Charlie, TMI.
You asked.
Like, how have you missed like just how awful these people are?
I am curious what he's going to do with the sequel to the Passion of the Christ, because they are working on a sequel right now, and I'm like, are you just going to go through the martyrdom of each apostle? Is it going to be like a quick, like, let's kill 12 people really, really, really painfully in one movie? Is it going to be like, are you planning a 12 movie box set?
How Paul decided that, he needed to go start a couple churches with his ideas and say it was for Jesus? Because there were all these random followers without a leader running around?
Though I wouldn't mind watching a movie where Paul gets beheaded, because that's how he died.
Maggie says, it is not biblical and people hate it when you point that out. And if you really want to trigger them, point out the tribulation from the Revelation could potentially be 24 and a half years.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I'm making a giant tooth.
You're making a giant what?
Tooth. Like, I'm a tiny, tiny dentist and I'm drilling out a bad tooth to fill it in.
What are you doing? What are you working on?
I'm not entirely sure. For some reason, I'm just digging up some stone near our little fortified area to go make some stonework.
Okay.
Maggie says, I hate Paul too. I would bring cake to the theater to eat while he dies.
Well, see, the thing is, and I point this out a lot, like, from a theological point of view, the problem is that there were 3 writers who wrote under the name of Paul.
Yeah.
One of them's really fun, and the other 2 there's a special place in hell for people like them.
Mm.
But and the thing is, like, if you actually go back and read like the 2nd and 3rd century leadership of the church, they knew this back then, and people are acting all shocked. Like, where are you getting this information from now? I don't care what your computers have to say. It's like, no, we verified with the computer that there's like a 0.5% chance the same person wrote those books.
Mm.
No one ever
Maggie
thought they were by the
says-
same.
Maggie says Paulism and Jesusism are very different religions when you get down to it.
They
Oh,
really
yeah.
are.
The fundamentalists wouldn't have a movement without Paul.
Yeah.
Especially the later Pauls.
Yeah.
Yes. Because it's the later Pauls that comes up with all of the whole, like, women should be quiet and all that stuff. Because the other Paul, that was probably the real one, just because we have enough old writings of people quoting those books or referring to those books that they appear to have been the old ones, was like, oh yeah, I want to give a shout out to this female apostle and that female apostle and this lady deacon and this woman who ran the church. Like, it's kind of a trip if you don't know that stuff's in there. Kind of like when I had a friend that was very, very funny, and I had finally escaped all that, and I tricked her into reading the Song of Solomon for the first time.
Surprise.
Because,
It's
Oh.
saucy.
speaking of which, did you hear that the Bible got banned from schools in Utah
Yes.
because it violates their no sexuality and all that, those rules that they put forward?
I mean, it is really.
It's a lewd stuff in there.
Yeah.
There's also talks that the Book of Mormon will also get banned. And just the idea of the Book of Mormon getting banned in Utah because a bunch of Mormons wrote a law against gay people. That's such
That's pretty
sweet
precious.
irony. I kind of feel like I need to take an insulin shot. Like, that's just a special kind of just, oh, that's delicious. Yes, may I have another?
So Tuesday, Bestie and I are gonna take Peanut and her youngest to go see The Little Mermaid.
Ooh.
And I'm so excited. It's gonna be Peanut's first movie in the theater.
Aw.
I have heard good things about it.
And the
It's a good movie.
animated Little Mermaid was my first movie in the theater that I can remember.
Aw. Maggie
No.
is heading out to do chores. Thank you for the gamer stream.
Have the fun.
Fun.
Hey, can I eat?
Night.
I mean, I definitely see why they hired Haley.
She is a
Hallie.
good singer.
She is great at emoting. Her face and emotions are spot on. I mean, for Glory and I, they made it a little way more. They made her way more feminine than the original character. But welcome to modern. Because like the original, she was a tomboy.
Yeah, that's very true. I'm excited about it. I just don't feel like traveling an hour and a half to go to a theater and seeing it. So I'm going to wait for Disney Plus.
There's a theater out by her that
Wait.
they have $5 Tuesdays.
Oh, nice.
You go pop.
So we're planning on going to the 1:00 show. Then the girls can at least play for a little bit after, and then we can come home and we'll hang out again as we play D&D.
Sounds like a good day.
I was laughing. She texted me this past Tuesday, was like, "Am I missing D&D? Because we didn't play last week because Noah wasn't feeling good." And I'm like, "Nope, Haley said we're doing it. We're sticking to the 2 weeks." And she's like, "Oh, okay. Hey, I better put that on the calendar." Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think the next movie I will probably make the effort to go see in the theater is Dave Filoni's Star Wars movie, because he has said publicly that it's his version of Heir to the Empire.
Hmm.
And I remember when I read that book as a kid, I was really wanted a movie version of it. And Dave Filoni does very good Star Wars. And I really like his version of Thrawn. And I love that he convinced them to bring the same actor who voiced him in Clone Wars back to play him in live action.
I think our swamp went under the effects of global warming. I think our sea level has dropped.
And the sea level does go up and down.
Because I had dug this so that it was deep enough water that the certain things would go pop. And the dirt's back in.
Also, I didn't want Peanut to be out too late because Wednesday she starts her new speech schedule, and it's going to be Wednesday mornings instead of Thursday afternoons.
Mm.
So,
Yeah.
although she slept in today, she didn't get up until after 7.
Wow.
I know.
I am dead.
That's impressive.
Oh,
Oh no.
Rage.
2 brown oozes and a bunch of Draugr just came out of the swamp, and
Oh man.
Zappy boom boom.
I zappy boom boom, but Hatchet in the back of the head does lots of damage.
Mm.
That is not a safe place to store your hatchet.
It wasn't my hatchet, it was the Draugr's hatchet.
Well,
If this was on Discord, you would be hearing the sad trumpet right now.
Okay. So Swamp 1 is where the 2 fiery things are to get extra cold.
But yeah, since that's like a movie I've wanted to see since I was a kid, that I didn't think would ever get made,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm probably going to go to the theater for it. That feels worthy of a special trip.
Mm.
Did you need an assist while I'm back at the house?
If you want to, I was going to wait till the daylight, but if you,
I have no strong feelings one way or the other. If you'd like an assist, though, I will gladly lend it.
okay, if you want to go ahead and get a head start,
Let's see. I need just a moment to ditch some of this. Okay, which way am I going? Which?
we need to go back out to Swamp 1, Swamp 2. So
Oh, Swamp 2. Okay.
I was double checking the island to make sure I got all the copper off of it.
Yeah.
And all of the copper is currently sitting in a chest.
Okay, so
That's this one right here.
to the left.
This one right here.
Yeah, I was just at Swamp 1. I think I pushed you in.
No, I walked in.
Okay, good.
All of the copper on the island is currently in that chest right there.
Nice.
So my body is right there.
Okay.
I currently still have corpse speed, so I can escape really quickly if needs be.
Yeah, I'm gonna start slowly moving in a direction. There's stuff coming down the hill, by the way.
Yeah.
I'll use my purple blade. It'll look prettier.
There's a chance that things aren't around my body and I can just grab it.
Plus, my blade does frost now, which is
You are cold.
cool. And what's fun is when I
Oh,
upgrade
there's
it.
still a brown ooze down there.
Mm.
How is there another brown ooze? I killed the other 2 brown oozes. There should be a bunch of slimes.
I'm gonna drag this guy down to deal with the brown ooze. With me.
The body is down there.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Don't you have a good weapon?
I have a funny weapon.
Oh no, there are draggers down keeping on my body. Nope, nope, nope,
Yeah,
nope,
you try to
nope.
run down there.
I thought I
There's
might
a
be able
wraith
to grab it
chasing
real
you
quick.
going up the hill. Real quick.
I did. I'm not a dummy.
The wraith's immune to frost. My weapon does not do much to the wraith.
Did the draggers not follow me up? Just the
I
wraith?
don't know. I killed everything that came to the top of the hill.
Okay, there are a couple draggers
Um,
literally camping on the body down there.
Yeah, I'm just gonna do that real quick. Okay,
Body.
I'm on my way down. This sword does a lot of damage to joggers.
Oh wow, there is like, oh, that's a tree. I was like, that's a lot. It's a tree.
When I went down the hill, there were 3 draggers on the body. I don't know how many there actually are down here,
Let's
but
do this.
until you get to 3, there's 1 missing.
I'm missing somebody.
Yeah.
Skeletons and 2 more, but go for it. There's another wraith. Right there.
Okay, we are armored
Just
up.
missed it.
Okay,
I
we
got
can
its attention. Put it here. I shot a leech. Ready?
wait.
I chrome.
Use the lightning.
Nope. No, Crumb is just straight slashing anyhow.
I hit it with the
But
lightning.
you zapped them really good.
Zapped it.
Oh, did you remember to grab the chain? Yeah, but one of us did. Okay, good. A lot of things.
I don't have any chain on me.
I do have 2
Okay.
chains on me. I got 2 chains.
One for you, one for Charlie.
Oh, 2 chains. Why are you? There's so many questions.
I need
I'm
some.
listening to Spotify right now, and there was just a commercial for tequila, but the person, the commercial person talking had a Texas accent, and I was very confused.
Yeah, that would be a quick way to get me not to buy it.
Yeah,
Like,
sounds so authentic.
I hate to admit that I'm a little racist, but Texas is one of those places that, like, I
Oh,
used
there
to
he
live
is.
there, and yeah, I
Oh,
have.
that's just too funny. What does that mean? It looks so cool. Oh gosh.
Like, one of the quickest ways to get me not to take something seriously is to be like, it's from Texas.
So the first question I have for the group is: would you all like for me to build the big hammer so we could see what the big hammer looks like?
Duh.
Oh god.
I mean, I get we are using some of our resources that we could be using to make armor and other weapons, but I kind of want to see what the giant hammer does.
Duh.
Sure.
Okay.
It's not my resources, so
Right.
Well, Tom,
I don't have to worry about running out.
Tom ran around and got a whole bunch of nice iron for us. And we only have so much dwarf meat. It fizzes. I should say we only have so much fizzy meat.
Ugh, gross.
You know,
It's so gross. It
There are
cracks me
times-
up. I
list of
forgot
reasons these characters are in hell.
Yeah.
that. Okay.
So where did you leave the boat?
Oh, I don't. We never did pack up the boat yet.
I thought he said it was at one of the harbors.
Oh, I don't
Well, it's at the
know.
house.
Oh, it's at our house? Okay.
Yeah. It's at our house at the dock
Oh, the
Got it.
second boat.
Okay.
in the chest.
Yeah, got it.
Wow. There's a whole bunch of faces spilling
I just
out.
wanted to make sure while I was still at the portal house because I needed to go somewhere else.
I
Dang it!
The giant pile of coal. But
I keep going in and out of the same
oh,
hole. So, in our experiment to find out why people were obsessed with Succession, we're almost finished with the complete series watch through,
Mm-hmm.
and I have actually figured it out. It's a formula story. It's basically modern day Downton Abbey with more cursing.
No wonder people love it.
Yeah, it's practically the same story.
I mean,
A
you
lot.
know, deep down, men love them some drama.
But it, like all of those like period piece dramas, the only thing that's really lacking is there isn't really a love story in it. There is the exact opposite of a love story in it.
Yeah.
I think I was supposed to have emotions about them getting divorced, and I'm like, no, yay. Both of you all suck. Just die already. But
This hair is trapped in here with me,
yeah.
and it's just gone. Like it's now fawning. And it's just like I'm just here.
now that we've gotten to basically the end game, and because they did a really good job of obfuscating it until you get to end game and everything, all the weirdness clicks into place, and then it's like, oh, it's a Julian Fellows show with more cussing. Surprisingly little nudity for how much sex talk there is in the show, though. Actually, I don't think there's been any nudity.
Yeah, I don't.
There was the one dick pic, but it was
They
so
blurred it.
blurry.
Yeah.
Because it was basically on somebody's phone that was really far off screen,
Yeah.
and the screen was really dim. Like to the point where I didn't know what had happened until somebody pointed out what it was on the show. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, that was a penis, apparently. Okay. I will say it is competently written. It is very well acted. I will give it that. The actors,
Yeah, they did a great job.
Mm-hmm.
the actors are good. It will not change your life. If you did not see it, you missed nothing.
Good to know.
Well, it's a thing. Like as a writer, when I see something really like taking over the culture like that, where everyone is talking about this like groundbreaking, amazing thing, that
Yeah, you kind of want to figure out what they're doing so you can steal some of that magic and use it
Yeah.
in your own projects.
and basically rip off Julian Fellows. That's the advice I got from it. Like, if you are a fan of like any of the shows that he did, from Downton Abbey to The Gilded Age, which by the way, season 2 is coming out soon. or any of the shows that he's done.
Mhm.
Like, it's basically that formula. Just it also has the serious advantage of it has Kieran Culkin playing an insufferable bastard, which is the role he was born to play.
Yes.
He is so good at it. And yeah, that's about it. Like, the surprises are not very surprising. They are telegraphed well at the time. And that might just be me, a writer, having a problem viewing a show. Like, a casual viewer might miss, oh, here's the setup for everything that's about to happen.
Yeah.
Or because it's happened twice now, so the third time it's really going to happen. Like, you keep saying that this thing is going to happen. Oh, there it is. It just happened. Though I have to say, we haven't finished the show yet, so I can't say 100% that I was right. But I did predict what I thought was going to be the ending after season 1. We were talking about it, and I was like, so here's the arc of the show, and here's how it's going to end. And it looks like that's what's going to happen. So I don't necessarily see that as much of a fault of the show itself, as in it is competently written. They did all the setups, and all the payoffs are coming in,
Yeah.
And, it's one of the things that I think a lot of us have as writers. It's hard to be surprised by fiction, because the more you know about how it's made.
Yeah.
But I do not think it would be a big deal if season 1 had not come out during lockdown, though.
Yeah.
Because season 1 is adequate. It does get better after season 1, but if people weren't locked in their houses desperately looking for content, I don't know. Like, we didn't finish season 1 because we tried to watch it when it initially came out, and it was just like, oh God, why? So I think
it's a modern version of Dallas.
Yeah. Though I really could have taken a Who Shot JRR.
I was actually slightly worried that they were going to do that with Culkin's character.
Nikki just had ad time. She had AT&T, Sonic, Blue, Tastefuls, Axe, Star Wars, and that's it.
Axe? Excuse me, Twitch. This is a queer channel? What are you doing?
Axe has been in the last, even Maggie got an Axe ad.
They must ask her a question.
Axe. When you positively need to clear a room.
When you want everyone to think that you're out for a good time and want to make sure no woman will have anything to do with you.
I think I'm the only person in the world who likes the smell of Axe.
I mean, I actually still have a can of the Axe. I can't remember what it's called, but essentially it's Axe chocolate. That one I did know a bunch of women who do really like. But again, it's still one you have to put on a small amount. They need a something to control how much it sprays at once, so it sprays only a fifth.
Because it sprays quite a bit.
And my experience of Axe body spray is, wow, somebody convinced men that you can put your spray on your body body and it will attract women.
With enough marketing, you can convince people of anything.
Because it has a very strong chemical smell to it.
Never forget, in the 90s, in the early 90s, they made Marina Sirtis a sex symbol.
I thought that was the voice, though. Like, her voice is chocolate.
No, her looks. It was just based on her looks.
True.
It was so surprising she had to call up her mom. Of like, Mom, you're not going to believe this phone call. And her mom did not believe her. She had to send her the articles.
You know you're a weird Disney kid when you hear that Marina Sirtis is retiring from acting, and you're like, but when they eventually do the Gargoyles reboot cartoon, who's going to play Desdemona?
Definitely some of her best acting.
I'm a big Star Trek fan, but let's be honest, man. Gargoyles is where it's at.
I loved the Gargoyles show as a kid so much.
But again, there was so much drama. I mean, it was Dallas for kids.
It is. Especially after they introduced Puck.
Yeah.
And the show just went off the rails. I also rather enjoyed how they found a way to continuously use the Scooby-Doo trope, except for without the mask. Because like half the episodes, especially in the early seasons, had that, oh no, it was the same bad guy all along. Except for you already knew that because they already told you that. So it wasn't really a surprise. It was just, are these idiots, dumb people going to figure it out? They're going to figure it out, right? Clyde, why are you so colorful?
There we go. Release the bound wisp.
Oh, no.
I mean, but it's like, but I hadn't thought about it in a while, but it's like truly, Jonathan Frakes and Marina Sirtis's, had better chemistry in Gargoyles than they did on Star Trek.
Does somebody want to go on a boat ride with me?
You're on a boat?
Nikki says, I don't know if I've asked this before, but has anyone seen Purple Hearts?
It's not ringing a bell, but that doesn't necessarily mean no. I'm terrible with names.
Yeah, I can't say I have. I don't think I've even heard of it.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
Did I get a response from
It's on Netflix, apparently.
I haven't actually watched a lot
Someone
of
put an Avery Lux on my road.
Nikki says it's such a cute movie.
Oh, it does remind me. There's one on Hulu, a movie on Hulu I'm planning to watch that sounds absolutely batshit.
I think most Hulu movies do, though.
I mean, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger playing a bad guy.
Is it the one I'm thinking of? That new one he
Kill
did?
Gunther.
Yeah, that looks ridiculous.
But you kind of want to watch it, don't you?
Yeah. Okay, I lost all of the iron.
Really, you guys are bad at it. Why'd you lose all the iron?
Because nobody answered me, and I was trying to do a thing, and I just put it out in the deep ocean.
What? I was running back, and
You didn't answer. I asked questions. But now I don't need you, because I've lost all of the iron.
Oh no.
It wasn't a lot, but it was enough that I couldn't actually pilot a boat. I couldn't get onto the boat. So I threw it to try to... Wait. It respawned underneath me.
I'm out here trying to feed the hoppers. Process the iron. Work the coal.
It's right there. It's just a little too far away.
Here, you're over at 2.
Yeah, it's not that much. It's not that big a deal.
Or do you not have room in the cargo hold for it? Or
It was only a little boat. It only had 4 slots.
because we have like no iron, so
Okay, it's just a couple pieces. It's whatever we got from fighting the guys.
Oh.
But if you want to come grab it, hurry up.
I gotta feed the hoppers first.
Back to gargoyles. This is Nikki. Does anyone agree with me that Goliath and Eliza Maza should have been together at the end of the show?
A little bit, yeah.
I mean, definitely had a Beauty and the Beast feel.
Going to Porterhouse.
I don't need you anymore. The waves have fixed it.
No, oh, they did? Okay. So you're good?
No, I'm annoyed, but I'm fine.
Leaving Portal House.
Nikki says, I know, right? LOL.
But I mean, how do I put this? You know, Goliath only had eyes for other gargoyles.
Actually, let's be honest. Goliath only had eyes for people that were wanting to kill him. Like, I really feel like he had a really bad subby problem, and any of the villains could have been like, hey, Goliath, I love you. And he would have been like, marry me.
You're right.
Like, the meaner she was to him, the more he was like, but we're perfect for each other.
It's funny because it's true.
I did recently rewatch it when I found out it was on Disney Plus. So yeah.
Yeah.
It's still up there.
That's it. You're getting crom. I should light the fire and make him freak out again. I do have wood to light the fire with now. What is?
I like how the fire is coming up through the portal.
Yeah.
Fire is looks like it's caught the roof on fire.
The roof is on fire.
So
Ooh,
I will say all of the trigger warnings for the music video version of it, but Mash of the Titans 12 just came out, and DJ Schmoley's new song that's a new mashup that's on there is so good. The video is triggering as all hell in Mac, but not until the very end, but you can see where it's going. It telegraphs itself quite well.
What are you doing now?
I'm
It's a
protecting
very
the stairs.
dance pop remake of Another Brick in the Wall with Alice Cooper's Schools Out, but very dancey.
Nikki says, Keith David. Oh, duh. Yeah, I forgot he was Goliath.
Yep. Oh, that sweet, sweet voice. I think it's one of the few things I've ever seen him in where he wasn't the villain.
Yeah.
No, the Riddick movies. He's also not the villain in the Riddick movies.
Oh God, I completely forgot. Riddick, yeah.
I was reading through like all of the David Keith movies in my mind. Like, there's got to be another one. No, there was another one where he wasn't the bad guy. And that's because he's the surprise black guy who survives the horror movie in Pitch Black.
Oh yeah, blam. There.
which should not be a surprise when you're watching a movie, but you know.
I like the way they run. Like tap 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 tap. Nikki says, "No, remember he was in Home Is Where the Heart Is."
Oh, that's right.
If you go down the hole, if you go down the hole.
I know. I actually had a dream the other night about the alien race timer we used on Wednesday's stream. Like my brain started writing the cartoon adventure for them. It was kind of like Galaxy High, but with an actual story.
Nikki says, "Moses White Cotton." I don't know if I spelled that right.
If you go down the hole.
I have a feeling I'm about to be eaten by a sea serpent. The winds have turned against me. My buff hasn't recharged yet. I'm in the middle of the ocean, and the wind is dying. Nope, it's back, and it's right in my face.
I mean, it does sound like a bad setup for problems.
Yeah,
We shall be on your screen then, just in case.
just in case. You see, I'm right in the middle of the ocean.
Oh yeah,
It's getting very dark.
you're headed straight for an island.
Yeah. Well, that's really hard to miss because the waves keep pushing me towards it. Like every time
Yeah.
I veer around. I might be getting a bit of a break. It looks like the wind's coming around from behind me, at least for a moment.
The wind.
But sea serpents do like attacking at night, and I'm in the middle of nowhere.
Sea serpents,
I'm-
sea serpents.
Loaded down with. I'm just saying, if I say sea serpent, everybody get down to the dock, down by the lighthouse, as quickly as possible, because I'm going to try to bring it in and grab a harpoon.
Oh, if you get him into the dock, we'll be able to just jump in the water and get him.
No, I'm not going to be able to get it all the way down the channel.
Oh, that'd be awesome if you did. Imagine
I
if
don't have a harpoon.
you like you got him mad enough to chase you down the channel.
It doesn't. I
Uh-oh, what was that? Was that a fish?
think that was a fish.
Why am I just
Yeah,
hearing
of course.
Fishy,
I
fishy.
did.
Eddie Izzard's bit about being young in a pool? Little swimmy, swimmy, little splashy, splashy, little chase me. And I
Forgot
went
how
to the
much I
other
hate
side of
this
the world.
The little boat is very, very much at the whims of the waves. They didn't put in a super boat with the new stuff yet, at least that we found yet, have they?
Nope.
Boo.
Did
We
give
haven't
us
really
any-
eaten any food that gives us eider either. So we don't know if we might be able to shoot fireballs or something if we get some eider food in us.
Well, you haven't given me any eider to play with.
Yes, we have. It's not the eider you need to play with. There's it's the foods.
You said eider foods.
Yeah, they give you eider. There's several foods that you can make that'll give like 20 eider. These guys didn't know I was there.
Wait, what? So
They'll give like 20 health and
So you
20
eat the-
stamina, but they'll give you like 80 eider.
you
Yeah, I saw that.
So you like poop eider?
I don't know what happens when you do that. You might be able to shoot fireballs out your butt. I don't know.
What?
I mean,
From your
I
arse.
take my headphones off for a minute to talk to Joe, and I come back to fireballs
so
out the
this
butt.
is your fault. So this is your fault. He knew that you weren't here and thought he could get away with it. I see how it
From
is.
super attack.
Well, guess what's attacking?
A kraken?
Is it a crack attacking?
No, a y'all.
Oh,
Oh,
Okay,
wait,
head
I can
over to
power.
their screen.
Jump to your screen. I'm running.
It is. They are not. Oh, now they're firing.
oh.
Oh shit! I'm
Poof.
taking lots of damage. I'm on my way. I must see
Stupid
how
thing.
everything holds up.
Stupid delay. There we go.
Yeah, change screens. Change screens.
No, that's like on a 30-second delay.
Oh my goodness.
What's
Oh, it just came over and breathed fire all over you. You were in the doorway, weren't you?
Yeah.
Did you just melt all this? You got the stairs melted. Okay. You should go out the back. The back way.
But they took it out.
You got the y'all?
Yep.
Ooh, that was
Nice.
quick too. Are they both still there? Or they need rebuilding?
They're both still there.
Do they need repairing?
Probably. I don't know.
Looks like it took let's see, 8 and 5. So it took 13 shots
wow?
to take it out.
But it did it. So did the y'all come for the garden then, or just wander in the area?
It just wandered in. It did wander over the garden. They did not fire the first part while it was floating over the garden. It had to come pretty close.
So I might have to move one.
Stupid wind and interesting things happening. I got blown so far off course, I have to turn around because I was paying attention to the monitor
Mm.
to see what was going on with the y'all.
I had them. I had them staggered because the one this way the one can shoot him and then get his attention, and the other one can jump in.
I looked
And it
back
did
over and
that.
I'm like, I should be home by now. And I looked up and I'm like, I'm nowhere near home. How did I get all the way up there?
What is all this, Tom?
I got bored.
You're building some additional stone stuff.
Yeah, and it looks like we're going to need to build some stone stairs as well.
Remember, all this flat means you're creating landing spaces for the seekers to fly up and land.
Hmm.
Like, darn.
Yeah. Just an FYI. Oh! No, he's on me. Oh, get it off. Got my vorpal blade.
Oh no, 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 no.
Oh no. I need a shield.
Just ran around a little bit. It's still good, still good.
We could technically set up one of the. We could. I don't want to designate one just for stupid things, but I kind of want to, but I don't.
So, Megan, what are you doing tomorrow?
What is tomorrow? Friday. Friday is tomorrow. Nothing?
Well, I was thinking of watching Roxanne Gay's masterclass again because I
Ooh.
found it very inspirational. And I have a bunch of writing that I need to be doing, and inspiration's a good thing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, I'm down
Good.
for watching it.
So stairs, actual stairs, you can make it jumpy blocks. We'd have to jump to get from level to level, but you could go further, kind of like you did with these.
Hmm.
There's something about watching a no-nonsense, take no names, kick all the ass writer
Mhm.
talking about their craft that I'm just like, I can write anything.
Did you see her most recent post that she did? Everybody on Notes has been talking about it.
I have not really been on notes the last couple days.
I have been doing project fascination, I think is what I'm calling it, where I post interesting things and respond to messages and stuff and interact more, and
I signed up for
it's
the
working so far.
free masterclass that Substack's offering on how to use notes
Uh-huh.
from people that have gotten a bunch of new subscribers.
Yeah.
And about how they're using it and how it differs from other social media platforms and stuff. I don't know if you saw the invite for that.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, I signed up for that because my next Wednesday is going to be a nightmare. Anyway, so why not be in all of the classes? All of the meetings. Plus, it's just going to be a thing that I can have on in the background so I can meet while it's on.
Yeah.
It's at, I think, 1 o'clock my time.
Mm. Yeah, just message me when you're about to watch it, and we can hop in the Discord or something, and
Okay.
I'll be available all day, so I will remember to look at my phone frequently for messages.
Because the two on there that I find like really get me motivated, but I'm gonna like I don't feel like doing anything ever again. I'm not really a writer. I'm never gonna write again.
Uh-huh.
For some reason, watching hers gets me in that like creative nonfiction place where like I can write an essay for spec. It's fine. It's easy. And Inky Genesis is also kind of like they're more like mood pieces that I wish to like get the oomph to write than things that I
These stairs, they're
He's
They're
making
funny.
Yes, Fisher House.
They're, they work
they
well
do.
enough.
Do
They,
they?
they just wiggle and jiggle kind of without moving.
Could you make CMG at MC Fisher House?
Maybe. That would be interesting.
We have a bunch of black marble and stone. I have a building project.
We have a bunch of black marble. And
I
we
said
have the
stone.
harvest stone.
Bestie just shared a thing on Facebook that says an apple a day keeps anyone a day if you throw or anyone away if you throw it hard enough.
I mean, not wrong.
It's true.
I sense no lie.
Oh. Yay. Okay.
I came back with a whole island's worth of copper. Are you proud of me now?
Yeah.
I only died twice.
Only twice. Slacker.
And I could have died more, but I have a lightning fork.
It goes zappy boom boom.
It goes boom, 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 and makes them go away.
Well,
They go boom, 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 and then they go away.
well. Dropping trees on stuff.
So why is this full, and why can't I use it?
Where's what full? Trees in the way.
I don't know what's going on with the furnace, but I tried to put stuff in it and it said it was full. So I fill it with coal and we'll see what pops out.
Okay. Wait, that's my coal. I need that. My cabbages.
You told me to make copper.
Yes.
I went and got copper. I put copper in smelter.
Please keep feeding the hopper.
Why would I do
Ow, that's a tree on my face.
All that will do is make you happy, and you know I have rules about this.
But I get you a Zappy Boom Boom stick.
Yes, but
That was then. This is now. Come on, get with
what have you
it.
done for me lately?
Yeah, working on the hammer.
Ooh, yeah.
But,
Oh, by the way, I made some modern art up on a hilltop.
You really did.
It's all floating.
One of these days, they're going to turn gravity on. They keep threatening us.
yeah.
By the way, 25 minutes left in the stream.
We were supposed to go see what was up in Dunbar Hills. Never did get to go investigate what's in Dunbar Hills.
Not enough death happening, in my opinion.
That's
Barbara, very Barbara.
there's
Yeah.
plenty of death. The ballista shot and killed all kinds of things. You got
Yeah.
to see y'all get killed. You got to see.
I'm just saying, Megan, when you
This guy
randomly
here-
receive a snow globe in the mail from me,
He got killed.
know it's a joke that I'm laughing very strongly about, and maybe the boyfriend will too.
If he remembers, like, he has no recollection of the character at all, so he's like, I watched it once last year. I don't remember. Like,
But I left the Barbara.
I don't know what they could be talking about.
I think it's more I'm not getting in trouble by giving an opinion here.
I don't know. Sean doesn't usually get to see the bloodthirsty side of me. We don't. I mean, the only time he really gets to see it is when we play Crash Team Racing, because I destroy him in that game.
Yeah, Barbara is the accountant that Jack hires to, do the books and the accounting at Keeley's firm. And a lot of season 2, she's basically put forward as the killjoy because she's the one that is about the money.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally her only job. It's like
Yeah.
making sure that the firm's investment isn't squandered.
Yeah.
But in season 2, she blossoms into a gloriously wonderful. In season 3, she blossoms into a gloriously wonderful character
Mm.
that is really into blood sports.
I mean, I do like hockey. A
Yeah, that
lot.
checks out. She also collects snow globes.
Yes, but do you like women's hockey or men's hockey?
How many
Both?
teeth need to be lost per game for you to find the game enjoyable?
I will watch both. Like, I enjoy both versions.
I have to say, there are 3 spin-offs of Ted Lasso that I want them to do since the series is over. Because one, I could watch Jason Sudeikis actually coaching a kids team. Totally watch that. That would be fun. And the other 2 I'm not going to say out loud on stream. Though I am happy while I didn't get the throuple I wanted in the show, I did in fact get a throuple at the end. So, granted, it was Danny Rojas and his 2 girlfriends, but still, I did get a throuple at the end.
Rojas. Danny is scary.
I love Danny so much. I think that's honestly one of the things I'm going to miss most about not having more of that show is I like having Danny Rojas in my life. Though I have enjoyed the several very overly melodramatic posts that I've read that are like, is television over? I mean, there's no more Ted Lasso and there's no more Succession. What will we ever watch? And I'm just like,
TV shows.
I'm glad to know what your two favorite TV shows were. But there will be more things.
Yeah, it is. I have noticed people have been a little melodramatic about the whole ending of their favorite shows,
Oh yeah, it's like there will
combined
never,
with the strike going on. Like, there will never be content again. Oh dear.
the only people I've really gotten upset about with the strikes going on is all the people that went after Jenna Ortega. Because, like, seriously, one, she is kid. Two, you completely took her out of context. And three, just shut the fuck up.
Mm.
She was on an actors roundtable where she was talking about how writing is a making a TV show is a collaborative thing,
Hmm.
and a bunch of idiots on Twitter decided to like make her the main character of the day because you wouldn't be able to riff on a story if a writer hadn't written it for you first. And it's like she didn't say she didn't need writers. She was just talking about how she liked doing television because it's so collaborative. Like everybody
Yeah.
kind of give and take, put stuff into it and stuff. Like the fuck.
Oh, we should probably change the banner.
Oh,
Tom is no longer in mortal peril.
I don't know. Brian's doing something quietly in the background, so you never know.
I don't know. He's still in the Mistland, so
Listen to that. Give it time.
I mean, if you're in the Mistlands, you're in mortal peril. Get that. It is by virtue of your geographical location.
Okay, I picked up my phone to see what time it was because I'm terrible at that. I needed to know. And I'm also just basically babysitting the furnace right now.
Mhm.
Thank you. I bring more
I'm
wood
not doing it for you, I'm doing it for us.
for me.
And there's a notification on there from Netflix about how my night can't go wrong with personalized recommendations like these. And I'm just like, you have not done personalized recommendations well in forever, Netflix. And loaded it up, and it's a bunch of shows I've already seen, a bunch of movies I've already watched.
Well, I don't know if you like them.
Yeah, but
Can't
that's
say
cheap.
you don't like them.
The only time they were good at it.
And then the first thing that I have not seen is Queen Charlotte, because I'm a huge fan of Bridgerton and definitely want a prequel to that. Then there's that show that I dare not speak its name because apparently saying that you don't like it is a countable offense, but I don't like non-con romantic leads.
50 Shades of Grey.
No, the fantasy show that dare not speak its name.
That's so lost.
I'll explain when I'm not on the internet.
And you cannot draw the ire.
I said once that I did not like it or the books that it's based on online, and got trolled in my DMs for like 3 weeks by random people.
So fun.
So like those who know what I'm talking about know what I'm talking about, and I just don't need that right now. So I'm not going to say anything about that. I didn't think it was a controversial opinion, but apparently I was wrong.
Mhm.
It's raining, it's pouring. The old man is snoring.
Well, we
Where'd
were
that go? I thought I picked it up. Can I have some charcoal?
No.
we had some people come and prune the tree on our tree lawn.
Mhm.
The one that got struck by lightning last summer and got like a big branch knocked off of it.
Mhm.
So most of the leaves are on the front part of the tree that's like over the street. And Joe was afraid that since it's already damaged, um, those leaves are going to act like just like a giant freaking sail. And the next time we have a big storm, a gust of wind is just going to and like block off the cul-de-sac. So, um, we called up this tree company and they came and pruned it back. Well, they arrived while we were, well, Pete and I were at our speech therapy session. And so we come back and they're getting all set up. And so I had to park across the street. And we walk and she's looking at, Mommy, look, he climbed in the tree. Oh my gosh, sticks.
So the closest I've ever come to living inside a telenovela is our next door neighbors have a really big pine tree in their front yard. And it is a hazard. It is a safety hazard. It is so big you cannot see around it.
Mhm.
It's so
Yeah.
big.
How
And
big is it? I'm just kidding.
you know, it's that one right there. And so
It's so big.
while he was at work, his wife had somebody come out and prune the base of it.
Mm-hmm.
And when I say prune the base of it, it now looks like a Christmas tree because you can see trunk at the bottom. That way, when you're pulling the car out, the cars going up and down the road can see each other again.
Yeah.
When you're pulling your car out, you can see up to the road. I thought murder was happening because of the yelling and screaming outside. And then I was like, oh no, he saw the tree. He's yelling at his wife. And then I went outside and no, he was yelling like somebody had just killed his baby and was like on his knees in front of the tree, crying out to the gods and the demons for bringing this horrible curse upon him. And then his wife came outside.
I mean, you know, she knew she married a dramatic bitch.
He is the gossip queen of the neighborhood. Like anytime you need to know anything that's going on in town, you just ask him. If he doesn't know, he'll find out.
You will.
That's funny. So there's a tree here at the apartment complex, and I don't know how there is any tree left standing because pieces of it just keep falling off. And like yesterday, a gigantic chunk of it, like I honestly don't know how there's any tree left, fell off. And somehow there's still more of it. And I don't know, it's a magic tree because every time it rains, a piece of it falls off, and yet there is still more of it. I don't understand it. It's magic.
Have you told that story to Laura? Because I kind of need the Laura version of this.
Laura X knows.
I'll have to tell Laura the story and be like,
Like,
Charlie said write something about it.
like, I mean, it'll be terrifying, but I'm kind of curious. Like,
Just a bit outside.
what is the
There we go.
ginger solution to this?
Look, flaming Lux.
But it's one of those trees that drop not acorns, but they look like the little caps that fairies wear, that are like made out of acorn tops. It looks sort of like that. And for some reason, the dogs love to sneak them into the apartment. I don't know how they do this, but they do.
Wait, is it a
And
ginkgo?
You're next, huh?
I don't think so. I'm not quite sure what kind of tree it is,
What the crap?
but it's a magic tree because it is still there somehow. I'm surprised they haven't like taken it down because it keeps
What?
falling.
Missed. There we go. That got him.
It was really funny. As soon as we got in the house, she's like, "Mommy, open window, open window," and she wanted to watch them as they were
Climbing
cutting
the
on the
tree
tree.
and cutting off the branches.
Mhm.
Of course.
Look, he climbing the tree.
I miss having good knees,
I miss climbing trees.
right? Thought I said that.
I don't miss getting stuck in the trees because I would climb so high I wouldn't be able to get back down. I mean,
No.
I would. I'd have to like jump, but
Yeah, crap. Ballista missiles. So I set one to Lux and one to Fouling.
I never had the problem getting stuck in them, but I love climbing. I loved climbing trees.
the problem when you're so short is it's easy to get up a tree, but getting back down when the branch is like kind of off the ground, it's kind of scary when you're short.
I know this is a really bitchy thing to say, but I have a new rule that anytime I say my brain thinks of anything and it makes me giggle, I just give in because I need all the joy I can in my life. But I used to be small once, right? Like childhood is a thing.
Yes, but I have a feeling you were always taller than me.
I was a little baby. I was born 7 pounds 7 ounces. I was a little baby.
I don't know what size I was when I was born. I'd have to like check my records.
I would laugh.
All
so
I know
hard
is
if
I
you
was a
weren't bigger than
lunchtime
I
baby.
I was born 4 minutes before midnight. Very close to being a Gemini.
Midnight.
So close to being an Iron Maiden song.
Yep.
My mom's a Gemini. The only other one in the family, since the rest of us were Aquarius. Nobody ever talks about like when they talk about the astrology and stuff. Aquarius is hardly ever mentioned.
Yeah, Aquarius is fine. Like they don't really have a deal. Like Virgos are just jiffy bitches that you shouldn't date, even though they're kind of fun in the sack.
Scorpios are evil.
Yes, we are.
Yes, we are. All of us.
Every single one of us.
Like it's just truly just
When I did the there was a moon journaling class at the library, and there was a girl who made me a birth chart.
Mm-hmm.
And so she told me like the sun and moon and rising signs, which I still don't quite understand. So apparently if you're Aquarius moon, that's means you're a creative person. Because she was like, that's where you get your fantasy writing from. I'm like, oh, okay.
the way I always remembered is sun is what you are born has, that it's a base personality. Rising is what you try to be. It's what you try to be and change and adapt to. And moon is what, everyone else always comments about you.
I will never forget Michael's face when he did my chart. Like, he actually pulled out the book and made me double check 3 times because he was like, "This is wrong. It's wrong. It's wrong." Because apparently I was born at just the right moment in history to be a Scorpio rising.
Nikki says Scorpio are not evil, and then, that next message is irrelevant.
Scorpio is the that's that one that how do you put it? Somehow will always magically produce a Molotov cocktail at a moment's notice.
Yep.
It's important.
You never know when you might need one.
Yep.
Like,
Shit just needs to
Jason from The
burn.
Good Place.
Yeah, Scorpio. The way I like to think about Scorpio is like we live by the whole like in case of an emergency break glass, but it's always an emergency, so the glass is always broken.
Then
Yeah,
you
but it's
use
not a
the
fire
glass as a
extinguisher,
weapon.
it's a Molotov cocktail.
I didn't say what was inside the glass. Just that you sometimes have to break the glass. And it goes splooshy, 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 boom, boom. It sets everything on fire.
That friend, whenever they say I have an idea, you go, stop. Just stop right there.
Yeah,
No,
one day y'all
you
will
don't.
learn.
And you've seen Brian's ideas.
And mine, for that matter. Because again, and on the Chinese calendar, I was born in the year of the fire dragon.
Oh God.
So,
My grandma
It
was a
does
dragon. I
explain
don't
your
know.
childhood stories. Everything pointed to someone who was going to say way too many times in their life, what could go wrong?
yeah.
And then follow up with, but it was fun, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it was fun.
5-minute warning.
I mean, I
Yay, I can switch between routes.
I have only set a highway on fire 3 times in my life.
And as so many people before me, I'm sure have said, that's 3 more times than almost everyone else.
But it was. I mean, look, one of those times helped me get away from a bunch of angry Klansmen that were trying to kill us. So. It was useful.
I'm sure it was.
It served its purpose well.
It didn't know it had that purpose when it was made.
Because Queenie was also Scorpio, right? That's why the 3 of us together were just like nightmare trouble for everyone.
The way I always remember what mine are is my little trio is every single sign that is a double.
Alrighty, we have a couple minutes left in this lovely little stream. So I feel like it's a good time to remind everyone, next week we are moving over to the YouTubes. So if you go to youtube.com/@CEDorset, that's where we're going to be if you're not already subscribed to the channel over there, and we will be streaming on YouTube from now on. It'll be fun. I'm actually kind of looking forward to it because I feel like I lost a bunch of people when I came over to the Twitch, and hopefully they're still subscribed and maybe they'll come back over there.
That would be lovely. See some old friendly faces.
Yeah, there are a lot of people that I haven't seen in a while, and I've noticed that I haven't seen them on other people's streams either. And I'm like, are you all okay, or did you just like grow out all their tube, or
Yeah.
is life just hectic? Like, are y'all okay? How many of you got deafened?
Ugh.
Turns out life was just haptic.
Yeah, I'm still salty about that. So yeah, you can definitely check us out with that. If you are subscribed over there, I apologize. This weekend you are going to get flooded with a bunch of our archive streams that I forgot to actually post. They've just been sitting quietly in the background over there. So it's going to be a fun weekend. A whole bunch of very long videos from me.
Woo.
Well, like technically from us. Also, Project Shadow is coming back with its new season starting tomorrow. The new first episode of the season is simply titled "This Pride is Hard," and yeah,
Yeah.
I think y'all can guess the subject matter and topics there. But well, it starts a little bit grim because in case people have been living under a rock.
The
And
world
some
is on
people are.
fire.
Talk a little bit about how the world is on fire, and then segue into maybe some things that we can do thereabouts.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a lot of fun putting it together. That is another thing that has moved, because I have moved from Spotify for podcasts all completely into Substack now, because they have become a bit annoying as well. But if you're already subscribed to the podcast, redirects are amazing things. Which is why I've always said it's so important to have ownership of your audience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And also one of the reasons why I highly recommend people to have podcasts, because once you have a podcast, you can move that audience to wherever you're hosting it. Which is nice. This is, I think, the 4th or 5th place that Project Shadow has been posted over the way too long that I have been podcasting. I actually said the number the other day and made myself cry, so I'm not saying it out loud again. And all of the archives were moved over to Substack, so you can actually go back and look at all of the old episodes there, including the really horrible first episode, which is there. It was titled The Y'all Show. If you think that I'm good on a microphone now, and you're like, I am not good on the microphone, how could I ever do a podcast? I highly recommend you go to projectshadow.com, search The Y'all Show, and be like, oh wow, that's how you started? What? It's bad. I titled it The Y'all Show because I think I say y'all over 120 times in 15
Holy crap.
minutes.
Oh.
It's bad. It's bad. The audio quality's bad. The everything. It's all bad.
There's the Seeker Soldier.
There's a secret soldier.
Oh, Seeker Soldier is going after the.
Yeah, he wants that because I've got a thingy trying to tap that root. That's a nice sting. Freaking get his attention. Yeah, buddy. Blammo! Right in the tenders.
Also, if you didn't get to read it when it was up on Kindle Vella, Blinded Angels is going up weekly on Substack over at projectshadow.com. The second episode just came out, The Inferi. And I'm hoping y'all really like this series. I really like the series. And season 1 and 2 are scheduled and will be coming out almost back to back. If you are a paid subscriber to this particular channel, I do ask that you please either that you one cancel your subscription and move it over to a platform of your choosing, or none at all. Because I would rather you not give me any money than accidentally continue to give Amazon any.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I will actually be contacting the subscribers this week and saying that directly to each of them. But I don't know. I don't know who all is listening, and if any of them are. All of these wonderful people have Substacks of their own, which you can find listed over at projectshadow.com.
Oh! I crit the F out of him. Oh my goodness. Sorry. I
Right.
just took like a third of his health. Yeah.
Brian doesn't understand what ending the stream means, and is
I was doing a simple thing, and then I got jumped by a soldier ant.
There's Dr. Pepper float ice cream over there, okay?
I know.
Like, I have to try this. I must know.
Exciting.
Alrighty, I think that's just about it.
Hey.
So see you over on the YouTubes next week, and there will not be a stream on this Wednesday, but the Wednesday after that, the Wednesday streams should be back and much more regular. Yeah,
Woo.
I think that's it. Anyway, bye.
Bye.